to Toyota Gazoo Racing, there are a lot of unofficial rules. Rules like only pass cars on the left. Don't drive on the grass. When you win, be humble. And you know what they say, rules are made to be broken. You in?
Look at that backdrop. There is not a cloud in the sky, but we're going to make some of our own. This is round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We are here at Utah Motorsports campus. Can you feel it? Yes, you can.
Utah is now the fastest track in our series.
Very difficult to see exactly where the edge of the track is when you're coming in with a lot of speed.
Foxy's once again right there. Look at that left foot brake. Odie risking it for the biscuit. Banging doors. Oh, doctor. Beecham is guaranteed his first ever Formula Drift podium.
Hell yeah.
Look at him using all of the cores. What do we got?
I think we got a TV.
It's Osbo and Bakshis in the final. The cars are wound up, and there it is. Cody Bakshis once again. The driver that elevated and gets the win is Cody Buchanan. Welcome to the one, the only, now rebranded Burt Brothers Motor Park, just outside of Salt Lake City, Utah, Grantsville, Utah to be exact. This is the 4th and final round of the Link Engine Management Prospec Championship. Yesterday, we saw seating brackets for Prospec and Pro, and tomorrow we continue with the Pro action. Round 7 of 8, 1 stop left for the Pro after Utah, and that is going back to the streets of Long Beach for a new, I repeat, brand new track, the Shoreline Showdown. We'll be your tour guides throughout today's action. Next to me, I got Mr. Matt Sopa, traditionally on the line for the pro rounds of competition. He's up there getting the cars ready. Thumbs up, hits the lights, make sure they don't hit the cones. But Matt Sopa, he doesn't only talk about it, he bees about it. He has Make It Modular, a business. You primarily focus on Fords, talking about engine swaps, putting Ford Coyote motors and expeditions and excursions and trucks and things and stuff.
Yeah, just put them where they should have been.
All right, well, just making claims right there. Yeah. But big Ford guy, and again, you have to stay Switzerland. You can't just pull for the Fords there, Matt. So
that's true.
Okay, all right, I'm watching you, kiddo.
Fair enough.
All joking aside, thank you for joining us here. I'm Jared Dienda. This is Matt Sopa. We'll bring in Mrs. Lorette Nichols. She is joining us here in Utah, and again, happy to have her back as we missed her in our previous round in Seattle. This is how things shake out for the final stop. Keep in mind, we have a tie for first place. It's coming down to this, and it very well might be decided in 32.
Yeah.
Nate Chen, Cole Richards, Dmitri Brutzki. Chen, he's got Brian, Hollywood Hop. Cole Richards, Cameron Sorenson, the young buck. 13 years old? 12, again, kids got birthdays. I know Haroya just turned 16, yeah. And then Dmitri Brutzki, Carson Ruger. He works on the camp of Rome Charpentier. So I bring up those 3 notable names in regards to the fight for the championship. But these are the battles. Some great names, some really good driving in Prospec, and I venture to say it's even harder than Pro. There are judges right up front. There on the left side of your screen. Reese Marin, wave to the crowd. Reese Marin there. You got Brian Egger in the middle. And joining us once again, Mr. Vernon Zvanveld. All right, so there are 3 judges. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Brian and Reese, the entirety of the season. Vernon sharing duty with Robin Ishida. Chris Yule, turn around. Chris, wave to the camera. Would you? Oh, no, he's too focused. His eyes are on the prize. Let's take a look at our overall standings coming to this round. That's what I was talking about. 100 points between the 3 of them.
Same.
Nate, Cole, and Dmitri. Cody Buchanan, Jerry Johnson. I think he slept in his own bed, drove here. Buchanan giving out tattoos. Did you get a Cody Buchanan tattoo yet?
I did now.
Now you have one.
Right.
There you go. He gave them to me pridefully. I might get one permanent unless he pays me enough. And, you know, a Rookie of the Year battle, Colette Davis
And Jerry Johnson.
Yeah,
they're only, what, a couple few points apart, so on opposite sides of the bracket, so it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds as well.
Who else made a lot of noise, or maybe not a lot of noise, coming from our previous Prospec round coming into this round? Who are you really kind of fixated on? Is there somebody in particular you're like, look out for this person, maybe momentum, or just maybe you did something to their vehicle in between rounds?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in there that I like to call sleeper cells. Yep, and Ryan Kaufman is one of those. He showed up in St. Louis a few times, so he's got some momentum going. But let's take a look at what happened yesterday with Cody and Bystrak.
Yeah, Cody Dempster, really, he's somebody that new suit, new boot goofing. I don't know. It brought him some good luck because in our seeding brackets, Cody Dempster stepped up. I'm a sucker for a good old white livery, and the coilover depot, the Fuel Lab vehicle looks really great. So excited to see what Cody can do. Talking about that momentum, not only from the previous round, but from seeding brackets. You know, it's unfortunate that he is down there, but Miles, you know, obviously Styles for Miles, and then rounding out, who's the other driver? That was, I apologize, a Ford Mustang there. But
Heichman.
Heichman, thank you so much. But because we have so many Mustangs, the diversity of cars, you know, it's interesting. Are there perfect Prospec cars compared to pro cars?
I feel like the perfect Prospec car is one that's reliable and a little more simple, so then you can you can avoid those mechanical bugs that can kind of sneak up on you.
That's
and
true.
Unfortunately, I've got news that Dempster, he had to change head gaskets yesterday, and he had a few pistons that
left the chat
we're going to run them. Not left the chat, but they're hurting. So
I'm tired, boss.
They got some Band-Aids on there, so we can really, no kidding, push through.
I talk about momentum, more like slow momentum. That is not ideal for somebody who has that momentum and then, you know, coming in. Talking about another driver, Hollywood Hop there from the East Coast. Saw him last weekend, Lessons to Drift. I said, dude, bring that car. He had so much fun at E-Town. I was like, dude, no, I mean, it's probably not to Prospec. Yeah, it's not to Prospec spec. But
maybe it's a hop spec.
you know who right now who's a Hop fan? Brutzki, Cole Richards.
Yep.
They want Hop to step up and rise to the occasion. But I'll tell you what, Nate Chen, a lot of momentum coming out of St. Louis. He gets that victory, and he got the win in St. Louis. Here we go, Nate Chen, Hop, and that's not how you get it done on initiation. Nate Chen, the NCR, 86, BRZ, FRS, whatever the letters are, regardless, he puts the car in the right place, outside zone 3. Now transition to outside zone 4. And right into the transition, and I mean, painting it. Just put, you know what? I'm gonna save our judges time. Just affix a paint can to the back of Nate Chen's car, and he'll just stripe it for you.
That's a good point. I'm not sure what happened with Hop here. A little failed launch. Looked like he got a little caught up in that bubble there, but let's talk about Nate Chen. He did cut that inner clip a little short. Good job of making up for it in outer zone 2. Set himself up really good for outer zone 3, as the judges were always talking about not drag and break into outer zone 3. Completely fills it up. Super smooth. Hop getting back in the action there. He's trying to gain up some ground as Nate Chen just paints a perfect picture on outer zone 4. And Hop does a great job of closing that gap towards the end, but it's a little too late as we take another look from the eye in the sky from our boy Justin Smash. Like you can see, a little in the inside. That was pretty much the only deficit I could see from Nate Chen in that lead position as we get around outer zone 3. And Hop doing a really good job of maintaining composure in that chase and not trying to cut the course a little too much, but he did reel Nate Chen in the end of there. As, I mean, Nate Chen just smooth as butter out front.
What do you think advanced Nate Chen to be? You know, here he is, his 5th year as a Prospec driver, finished 7th last year, and now he's in contention to knock down Dmitri Brutzki, who's going for his 3rd Prospec championship. I mean, he started as one of the youngest media credential holders, and now it's like Jacob, you know, going from the media up to the box, or now to the tower, man.
Yeah, it's his friend's
amazing.
face down in the muck, and now he's ready to get it done.
I think it's awesome. What do you think got it done for him?
I think just seat time. I think that's one of the biggest advice that we hear from veterans like Chelsea Denofa and Ryan Turkey. Just drive 50 times a year, not just FD.
Well, I mean, variety, also perspective. I think Nate Chen having some mistakes and learning from those, you know, because sometimes the best boss is your worst boss, meaning that you'll learn the most from a crappy boss. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't do it that way. You know what I mean? But
Sure.
you're going to learn a lot. So I think Nate Chen has made some mistakes or some flubs, but also he's had some great makes, and he's got that momentum. So
Yeah.
I think that's what's got him here. So all right, here we go. Brian Hopp, 20-year grassroots vet from Club Lewis and East Coast. Here we go. The MA Motorsports vehicle. Oh boy, that is the wrong side of the rumble strip, and that's going to seal his fate because basically that's all she wrote. That's going to be an incomplete for Brian Hopp. Nate Chen gets the fast pass. He is in contention for the championship. So Brian Hopp, unfortunately, he will be out.
And even before that, Jared, I think he intruded on that bubble that we added for this round here too. But
Yeah, break that down.
Yeah, so you can see in the front here on the left part of the screen, the lead driver is supposed to initiate around that, get a weight transfer entry, and he was inside of that. We're kind of treating that as a wall for the lead driver. And then, of course, all four wheels off in the outer zone two. Definitely sealed his fate there as I see Brian Egger turn around and give you the nod. So after that, it's all moot point, and we're just burning some rubber and fuel at the rest of the course here, Jared.
Okay, like you said, I like the modifications, or I would say the development over the years of this track. You know, it's I don't love the layout of this track, but the way previously it didn't flow as well as it did now. I think it flows well. Prospec, they're forced to do things that are maybe out of their comfort zone, or the capabilities of the vehicles given the tire parameters.
Yep.
Pro, they're having a lot of fun, and it does create controversy. I like to say controversy as opposed to controversy. It's just an exotic way.
It's like documentary.
Yes, exactly. So there it is. Nate Chen gets the win. I like to say controversy.
Okay. Whatever. You do you, Jared.
Look, I might have fallen and bumped my head coming up to the tower. Regardless, Nate Chen gets the win. There's Max giving him the fist bump. Brian Hopp, hey, love his attitude, love his team. Unfortunately, just not enough. Again, a 20-year veteran. And, hey, Reese, good morning. How are you? Or I should say almost good afternoon.
Yeah, I would say almost good afternoon at this point. Yeah, all right.
11:41.
Yeah, we're close. So let's just look
top
over
of the day too,
here. Yeah, top of the day. You see here, we see the initiation. We do see him get into the bubble there as well too. Leaves outside zone one early. He's on a shallower line here. Misses the inner clip, and here we see Hopp go 4 tires completely off. Yeah, we can see this was just a big deficit here. When we saw Chen do his lead run, he just a better lead run, stayed on course. We also saw that Brian Hopp in the chase had an error also in the wheel going into the inner clip. With that all being said, Chen moves on, and we will see Hopp next year ready to roll.
All right, so all right, copy that. Thank you so much. All right, thank you, Reese, for breaking it on down to Chenville right now. All right, so we are looking at Shelly Hansen here, a 39-year-old cancer survivor. Love what she's doing, and she always does it with a great smile and a great attitude. Her and her dude are fighting the good fight here. The Hansen, Team Hansen, now coming in, and look at this, Amanda Sorenson, all-female battle. You got to love this. So Shelly Hansen, Amanda Sorenson coming. Oh,
hello, good night.
Holy cow. Shelly Hansen had one of the most sensational accidents. She was on her side at E-Town, and Shelly went off. But I'll tell you what, Amanda, that thing bucked up. That back, oh man, that is not ideal for Amanda Sorenson.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
She lived up to the Air Force name, just the back end, and that suspension slammed down. So holy cow. She's out of the car, that's good. And like I said, Shelly had one of the most sensational accidents earlier this year.
Yeah, in Jersey, that was absolutely
it was sketchy.
insane. And hats off to them for getting that car back in, the following day. But yeah, there was like a reverse rear bunny hop here from Amanda going off. Of course, I'm not sure if she hit a sandbag or what out there, but we'll take a look.
And what a crazy initiation there. Shelly goes in, and she goes into the dirt, and Amanda followed her. Let's take a look here. I think the drone got taken out as well.
You think? Okay. Well, Shelly had it was a great start. I mean, inner clip 1, outer zone 2, looking good. Both dropping a little tire in the rumble strip. We talked about that. 2 tires off, and then just kind of baited Amanda into the dirt there, and that was the end of the run. Taking a look from
this is the drone that I believe gets taken out. Watch this.
See the Tires off the side skirts, like ready to leave the party. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely anti-aircraft arsenal coming from the United States Air Force BMW. So very fitting. But
yeah,
so
I'm not
this,
sure. Let's see what we can. Why did this happen? She came in just too hot, and looks like maybe something caught under the tire there and took out that. That was kind of interesting. What happened to the front bumper there in the side skirt? Maybe that attributed.
Yes. Holy cow! There was something on track. I don't know if it came from Shelly's front left. You'll see. It looked like something came from the front of her car, and she kind of ran over her own debris. Watch this. So when she transitions, she's going to that outside zone 3.
Okay. What was that? You see that debris there on the right hand of our screen here?
Is that her Hans device?
No, that.
Dude, I mean, that's what it looks like. It could be. Was it tire debris? What was it? Okay, you're just doing a lot of yelling over there.
Let's take a look at this angle here, if we can see if that was chicken or the egg thing.
See, watch right here. Watch her transition. So, this is what the spotters are seeing. So. Right there, there's something on track. So it didn't come from her. There was something on track that she hit. So I got to tell you, I have never seen debris like that on a track pre-run. I think nobody caught it.
It was such a dark item. Like, I mean, we couldn't even see it live until we slowed it down like that. That was very rare.
It's just the shape of it looked like a Hans device. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
I'm just like, holy cow. Because it did, at first glance, it looked like something came from her left corner and it blew off that side skirt.
Right.
Was Shelly going off? Did that kind of force a larger error on Shelly Hansen's side of things? Amanda, she got let off, and that was just more sensational because you could see where she hit. See the darker dirt on the outside of that corner.
Right.
It looked like there might have been a pothole, and going off, and it just banged. So
just getting word that was the base of one of the clips.
So yeah, here's Brian Hopp. So Hopp goes off. Nate Chen is going off. He got let off.
Left there.
So it looks like Nate
Chen, and see it bouncing back there now. On frame.
Okay, so look, there it is. So Nate, you can see it coming out of the backside of his car. See that, like, right in the middle left. Pause it, right there. So in that smoke trail, you could see it. So it looks like Nate Chen's quarter panel, actually, just was not caught. It was just, so just like a trim piece. Because when you get that wide body, there's kind of just these little aesthetic flare pieces that kind of get added onto the bumper. And you can see Amanda on her radio, her phone, and conversing with her team. Very unfortunate, and it happens. I mean, look, Formula One, Las Vegas, and it's happened previous to that. Manhole cover gets sucked up, and that, they tack weld those things down, and it's very unfortunate. Obviously, it's not anything that was done on purpose, and things do happen. So I believe a lot of the conversation that we're hearing is ideally get the cars back. Let's see the flow of the track. So. And again, Amanda, a 22-year-old multidisciplinary racer. She started karting at 6 years old, won off-road titles before she moved on to drifting. So obviously love her and her brother being part of the United States Air Force. And now her younger brother, Cameron Sorenson, he's competing in Prospec as well. So guess what? We'll take a break. We'll clean it up. We'll let you know what is deduced as far as competition continues here in Utah. Kicking things off in just a pretty crazy manner right out of the gate, but we do know Nate Chen's in. We'll find out as this all-female battle continues. Shelly Hansen, Amanda Sorenson. We come back here to Burt Brothers Motor Park here in Utah.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
These are my race treads for when the road ends.
These are my race treads for shredding the slopes.
These are my race treads for setting the hook.
Racetreads.com. Tires for every adventure.
Link ECU, let's get it.
We got the spiciest K-Series built.
Supercharged Ford Eliminator engine.
Oh, good old SR20. Blink monsoons. So rowdy.
Naturally aspirated, 1,000 horsepower, LS-based engine. And then we're going to add nitrous on top of it.
Running an S54 controlled by Link ECU. Link direct injection EcoBoost Fox body.
I actually put an FA24 in it.
B58, E46, Link ECU.
No matter what engine you have, it's a stock K24 or it's a 1,000-wheel 2J, Link ECU all day.
Looking for what comes next? For that moment when everything finally...
1 minute!
Whichever path you choose, it starts here.
You've got questions? We've got answers. Need a pro you can trust? We have stores of that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
BC Forged Wheels, custom built per order, offering extensive design, finish, and machining options. Strength, style, and precision come standard. Track proven, street ready. BC Forged, proud sponsor of Formula Drift 2025.
All right, we're getting Amanda back off track here on the tow truck, and we have deduced that as a effect of the driver as a result of the impact of another vehicle will not be the fault of the drivers, and we're going to basically run those back, give them, as in Jared's world, we'll call that a mulligan, and give them time to fix their cars and continue on the brackets.
Obviously, such an unfortunate turn of events, and you know, Chris and his team do such a great job of our Formula Drift staff, and you know, just that was out of 21 plus years. Here's our 22nd season. I haven't seen anything like that to that degree.
Right.
You know, I mean, just it was, you know, it was black, it was camouflage, and you know, I was over there talking to Rome Charpentier. He's doing double duty. He's spotting for a couple drivers there, and basically, it's an unfortunate circumstance, but we're going to try to remedy it the best possible way we can.
Yeah, we got enough time in the bracket here to let them get their cars back together. We'll circle back when they're, you know, at 100%.
All right, you can see, and I think Amanda's car suffered the most damage there,
right,
you know, compared to Shelly, even though, you know, was she going off? Was it kind of emulsified, yeah, and was it, you know, more dynamic because of that contact? Well, the world may never know. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. 1, 2, 3. Amanda's making her way back to the pits, and we will continue the action. And our next drivers, looks like it is Jace and Brian. And we will continue our action. So a little low in the action, but we will continue in just a touch. It's a beautiful day out here in Utah. Not as blue and you know, obviously open skies, a little cloud cover here. We can still get burnt, and it's definitely just the air is just so dry. There we go. So
now that we know what we know,
yeah,
you can see. Oop. And it might have got caught back in that handbrake when she was, you know, setting herself up from 3. Yeah, that's just truly unfortunate. I mean, you can only see it after the impact. Like, it just blended it so it was just a perfect storm.
So yeah, you see Shelly transition, like I said, bang,
just
hits that front bumper, hits that side skirt. Like, what was that?
See the front wheel getting upset, but that, you know, we could discuss all day and what happened, but we'll make it right.
And you know, at speed,
yeah.
Shelly previously, like I said, went through that sensational crash. I'm only calling it sensational because she was okay. So they both have a lot of time due to a ruling. Ryan is right next to me, president of Formula Drift, and he defaulted to the rule book and said that due to this debris being on track, they get ample time to fix their vehicles, get it back on track. The big question is, have we clarified, Matt, if that run is null and void? Okay, so that is null and void.
Yeah.
As if that first half of a run didn't happen.
Right.
All right, Jace and Brian Wills. Zero chill Wills here. And Jace, good attitude, had some good driving yesterday. Brian from Chico, California, earned his license from Evergreen Drift Event. And Jace, longtime kart racer, built his first drift car in 2011. He won the 23 Spec D Pro Drift Championship and the Big Bounty Tournament. So I love just the different events that are happening across the country and across the world, to be honest. But obviously Pro-Am events, earning your license, where they came from, their backgrounds, their DNA, why they built their cars. But Zero Chill Will's coming on in. We'll see if he dials it back a little bit here and dials it in. Yes, he does. Again, that nasty Habich S chassis. Quick little correction there on that transition. Oh, and Habich goes way off. Jace, that's not where you want to be. And Brian Wills. That was like a moment of not silence, but a moment of just attitude right there. That's Brian Wills put down a stellar lead run there. And unfortunately, Jace found himself where we saw Shelly and Amanda just a moment ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he just had too much momentum following or got lost in the smoke, but let's break it down here as we get through outer zone 1. Great job of hitting that inner clip on both parties. Jace loses a little ground there through outer zone 2 as Willis does a little wavering as he adjusts into outer zone 3, but then Habich trying to make up that ground. He finds his way into the dirt as Wills just continues on the course out of 4, but you can take another look here from Justin Smash as Habich tries to bring it back on course after beating the rubber in the dirt there, as Habich will now have a big deficit against him as we continue to get this bruised BMW of Amanda Sorenson's off the tow truck.
And making their way back to the line. Jace will now lead, but I gotta assume he is at a deficit here, just going off, getting into that dirt, and a lot of these guys driving by muscle memory and really got to just stay focused and just commit to that line, and that's that chase position, especially with just how much smoke Brian's vehicle kicked off. That your vision is absolutely impaired.
Absolutely, Jared.
And crawling out of the start. What happened there, kids? All right, looks like an eager beaver. Jace Habich, just a little too jumpy there from the start. Cracking a Rockstar, the official energy drink of Formula Drift. So why not keep that energy going, baby? Did you hear that?
You know, I did hear it. I'm kind of jealous.
What
you gonna share?
You want one? You want one?
Yeah,
all right.
Of course.
Coop, get this man a Rockstar.
But yeah, getting back to that restart. So the lead driver can't leave or attempt to leave the line until all those start lights are, there you go,
cracking a cold can of Rockstar.
Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. There you go.
All right.
All right, Jace, dial it back a touch there. Eager Beaver does not catch the log, homeboy, so give it that vert now, buddy. All right, Jace Habich. Let's see what he's got. He needs to put down a stellar run. He was off in the dirt. That's not where you want to be. And he hits that inside clip. Pretty well done here. Now Wills needs to keep it together. And look at it. So again, the car not kicking off as much smoke. And he is just out of that smoke line, which that's not where you want to be ideally, but that compromise of staying out of the smoke trail and having that vision. Oh, okay. What is happening? All right, that was really, really odd. So again, sorry, solid exhale here.
Use your words.
Jace, I know, but this is it's unfortunate because what was happening there is Brian just needed to navigate the course. Walk us through it. What do you think happened?
Again, it started really well. Habich did a kind of a straight line initiation, but had a good position here through inner clip 1, outer zone 2. Could have been a little deeper here. Lazier transition, both parties dropping in the rumble strip. Habich could have been a little deeper in 3. Will's hanging there right with him, doing what he needed to do. You know he has an advantage, so he's not going to put on too much pressure, but it looks like Habich could just put in too much angle. The car gripped up, and Will's really didn't have much area to go to, so I don't think the judges will put that as a fault on that chase driver at first glance here. Maybe we can take a look at it to do some more things as we get back into outer zone 3 here. You can see Will's charging away. You see the smoke billowing up and then dissipating as he surges and charges against that Habich. And then we go into outer zone 3. You can see how much angle that car just had in that lead position and just couldn't keep it in drift. He didn't quite straighten out, but it also threw the chase driver off, and he wasn't in the position he needed to be in the first place. You know, halfway in the track, he needed to be way outside in that zone. So he's got a couple of deficits going against him. So I hate to say that we do have a double incomplete. I'm not sure, but maybe the judges can tell us otherwise.
We'll unpack that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, can we put a pin in that? Yeah, I think we're going to unpack what happened here. This is very, you know, unfortunate. Both chases are incomplete in my eyes. You know, okay. I think Jace goes off. Will's has a good lead. Yeah, Will's lead run, there's nothing wrong with that. We, you know, control delete Habich's chase run. But let's break down on the right side of the screen here as Habich goes in there, throws it monster angle. Car just about stalls and Habich gets lost in the smoke. Now, from the judge's mouth, they don't take that into consideration, whether their visibility. They just take into consideration where the car is. Yep. And they don't count that as like a handicap, if you will, by not being able to see. You just have to know where your car is and use muscle memory, perhaps, or yeah, otherwise. Placement of the vehicle. You know, obviously some kick off more smoke than others. So if you started modifying because of smoke, that would be an advantage for some vehicles over others. Obviously, with it being a spec class, you know, that comes down to wheel speed, how much smoke they're kicking off. Because I will say, and venture to say that Brian Will's car kicked off more smoke than Habich, right? And did that impede on him going off? Potentially, but like you said, you can't slide him for that. Right. What I was also saying was Will's in that chase position. He chose, you know, because Jace was on a shallower line outside zone 3. Will's was on the inside, avoiding that smoke. But I'm assuming I would love to talk to Reese. We'll see if we can get him on the horn. But Will's, I think it goes and defaults back to the lead runs. Both of them had bad chase runs and had incompletes. And Jace, unfortunately, did not complete his. Will's had a phenomenal lead run. And Reese, thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you agree? Is that what's up?
Absolutely. We were comparing both of the lead runs, and we can see that Will's definitely had a better lead run. And toward the end in the lead, you can see Jace kind of goes on the inside of outside zone 4. After seeing the 0 from both of the drivers in the chase, we just compared the lead runs, and Will's gets the win.
Right on. Thank you for the insight. And
no problem.
Hey. Here we go. Cory Talaska and Chris Leonard. Talaska didn't have to do a seeding bracket yesterday, and he started the season off so strong and would love to see him on the box once again, and he obviously would as well. Leonard needs to join the conversation as Talaska rips that Yellow Speed Racing BMW. Good transition from him getting into that last outside zone. Like to see him a little bit deeper there, but like the aggression, very fast. He's got good fluidity, but once he gets into that zone, you could see a little bit of wavering. Would like to throw that thing back just a little bit. But Talaska, like I said, round one. Yeah, we can't see what happened with the whole battle yet. We haven't seen the second half, but if Talaska comes home with this, he's going to have some things to clean up in that lead position. I like how it started. He did a good job here. Leonard trying to do all he can to keep in the frame. Talaska just needed to massage that car out a little further into 3. You know, there's no one knocking on the door by any means, and Chris Leonard tries to stay in the frame here, and you can, again, only about one tire, you know, flirting with that outer zone 4. I think maybe they just set up the car a little too tight today, but I'm not sure. But we can take another look at the chase drone here as we get through interclip 1 was great. Outer 2, he almost dropped the tire there, not quite. Stays out of the rumble strips for the most part. Then it kind of gets on the inside here as we're also getting bathed in the smoke. Looking at this as Chris Leonard trying his best to keep up with that 2JZ powered E36 as we get through outer zone 4. Leonard trying to do his best, sacrificing a little bit of angle. Cory finally looking smooth towards the end at the finish line, but he's going to have to push that car a little further out if he's going to continue on here against future competitors. Absolutely.
So let's give that Mustang some clean air, give Talaska chase.
You know, Talaska's strategy here is I believe he knows he has a horsepower advantage. Hopefully a spotter's saying, hey, give it the beans, but maybe just don't overcook it. You know, just be there in the mix. Leonard saw him in the driver's meeting as he's leaving. He's, you know, having fun, playful, but he knows he needs to rise to the occasion. Going against Talaska, like I said, winner round 1 of 4 of this Prospec Championship. Don't give him too much room though. Leonard goes off, and this is where that smoke. Oh my gosh, he's throwing the kitchen sink at him, man. This looks more of like a food fight than it does a drift competition. Now coming out, and you can see that straightening. These guys are having a hard time navigate through that smoke. And this is perspective for these spotters. Just seeing the smoke being kicked off. Maybe, like I said, get that compromise. Maybe go on the inside a little bit. You have the proximity. Right. Don't get so much the pocket, given who you're going against.
Yeah, let's check out Chris Leonard's lead here against Talaska. Kind of a little failure to launch there as Leonard gets 2 tires off at first glance here as we get into kind of a lazier transition to the 3. Talaska's trying to kind of adapt to it. There's a little left foot braking, a little wavering. Leonard looking smooth in the later half of that outer zone 3 as he gets into 4. Super shallow here, and Talaska's trying to make those adjustments to kind of match what Chris Leonard's laying down there as after that banana of a bumper that he right before outer zone 3. Let's check out our airforce.com replay in the sky here. You can see Talaska sacrificing some angle to gain some proximity straight away as they transition into outer zone 3. Talaska gets in front of the pocket there, puts himself back, but you can tell he's just not quite getting the car stable. Almost drops a tire in the dirt there. Almost straightens there as we transition into outer zone 4 and on the way to the finish. So let's see what the judges think. Yeah, I think there's some things to clean up if either party moves forward, but the judges will decide that.
Yeah, I mean, you could just see, seems like much more smoke today being kicked off these cars than yesterday. So, all right, Cory, Talaska looks like, yeah, and I agree with that call. A good effort by Leonard, just a little too sloppy in that front lead run for Leonard. Like his aggressiveness, but just not enough. So it looks like Talaska gets the win, and let's throw it down to the other member. Welcome back, the beautiful Lorette Nickel down there in the Sorenson camp. Lorette?
Oh, gang, I am so happy to be back. Amanda Sorenson, I know you wish this was under different circumstances. We have Rudy Hansen right over here, the husband to Shelly Hansen. I wanted to get your perspective of what happened on the track between you and Shelly.
Yeah, honestly, like it was just, we were going out for our top 32 battle, and I didn't see the debris, to be honest. In the chase position, there's not much you can see, especially going from outside zone 2 to outside zone 3 there. You're just like on the door in the smoke line. And Shelly went like she was pushing off track, and I had seen her going off track. I checked up just a bit, but that was a gnarly wreck. I've been in a lot of off-road like tumbles, and when the back of the car came up, I'm like, wow, time slows down, and you're like, this is one of those moments. But I'm so thankful that car's good. My team is awesome. They're going to put it back together. There's a lot of damage in the rear, but I got a great team, and we prepare for moments like that, so I'm not going to complain about 2 more laps.
Okay. And what's some of the damage the team's trying to fix?
Yeah, I actually I stepped away, so I don't really have an update on it, but I know the rear axle was out, the shock's broken, sway bars are broken, a lot of things are bent in the rear, but this is what we prepare for, so we're good.
Okay. Fingers crossed. Thanks, Amanda.
And thank you, Amanda Sorenson, United States Air Force, a Rockstar energy drink pilot as well. And that's great perspective where, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, you know, fortunately she's okay. Unfortunately, she said, you know, I've been in some things. That was a violent one. You don't expect that buck and bronco here to kick up. So I'm glad she's okay.
Yeah.
Talking to her dad yesterday, and he couldn't be more proud of his kids and what they're doing. So here we go. Buchanan and Jack Davis. Looks like Easter here with all these you know, pastel colors out on track. But all joking aside, let's crack that egg open and let's see what's sweet. And Buchanan there, you can see him ripping in that Nissan Z. Now into that last outside zone. Jack Davis in the chase is just really shimming in his way. Both these guys just feeding the wheel. You know, Jack got here due to his success in the Prospec seating brackets. But again, Cody Buchanan, Jack Davis, here are the numbers, here are the stats. Buchanan, North Dakota native, built Interstate Raceway to practice drifting. You know, one fan favorite driver and last year, and Jack Davis from Bixby, Oklahoma. Started drifting at age 13 in a Miata, so quite a progression.
Yeah, Jack's always been aggressive. He hasn't had the most successful year as I think he wanted, but let's take a break down this as we get through outer zone 3. Buchanan looking a little smoother in the lead position versus Jack Davis. Kind of gets the car settled in the later half of that zone as he drops a little tire. Going to outer zone 4, Buchanan finally gets the car settled halfway through a 4. And Davis staying well within the picture there, putting on the pressure on that Easter-colored Z of Cody Buchanan. As we take another look, as our eye in the sky, Jack Davis throwing a little too much angle in that transition. Kind of gets back in the pocket there about 2/3 of the way through outer zone 3 as we transition. Good anticipation there. Jack, again, that dirt drop kind of messed with his fluidity there as he tries to gain proximity, but Buchanan, very little mistakes there in the lead position, I believe, and it's going to give him a little bit of advantage, I feel, but Jack Davis has still got that lead run to give Buchanan chase, so he's no one to sleep on either, so it's going to be interesting.
Jack Davis out there in the Deutschwerks BMW E36. Buchanan pulling up there in the SRD Nissan Z. Got the tri-spokes out back. You a fan of the tri-spokes?
No.
I appreciate your honesty. What's funny is, you know, back in the day, like Yokohama, the Advan wheels, the split spoke, like, yeah. I never loved those, and now it's like they're cool because it depicts a certain time. It's kind of like an arrow wheel. Here we go. All right, so Jack Davis, regardless, he needs to show up and look good. And of an era right now is he's on a glow up here with this lead run. Jack Davis brings it on in, a little left foot brake. You see the front wheel stop, but Buchanan tucks in nicely. Now transitioning that last outside zone 4. A lot more comfortable for both the drivers. I'll tell you what, yeah. Jack, Josh Grobenham, dude, I'll raise you up, you know, and he'll elevate his run because a good lead run creates a good chase run. And I think Jack did a good job up front.
Yeah, I agree, Jared. This is what we wanted to see. They're going around the bubble here. Good initiation, throwing a lot of angle on it. Little too deep on interclip 1, but not too much to upset the chase driver. Get good position on outer zone 2. As we transition, you can see when we take another look at it, there's like gobs of handbrake he was trying to decel, but that gave Buchanan an opportunity to really catch up here. I really like the transition from both parties. Buchanan timed that attack really well, and Davis is in really good position in that outer zone 4, and Buchanan putting on really good pressure on that outer zone 4. As we potentially take another look, or we'll just wait for the results. But I really liked what Buchanan did in that between 3 and 4. It wasn't an attack right after the transition. It was more like a gradual build-up, and he really stuck it to the door of Davis there in that Detroit's BMW. So BC Racing side-by-side as we get through the chicane, and outside of that bubble, you can see Davis out front in the right, Buchanan in front in the left. Both similar interclip 1s there as we get through the transition into 3. You can see Davis kind of having a little advantage in proximity there, but Buchanan kind of overcomes that in the end of 3 as he shows his attack in that outer zone 4 on the right side versus the left of Davis, kind of do a little more wavering and a little less comfortable in that chase position versus Buchanan. So I think it's kind of going to come down to the chase run here on both drivers, in my most humble of opinions.
It's all about perspective, what the judges, you know, where they lie the heaviest weight of the critiqued run. And Buchanan and Davis await the results. The winner of this battle to go against Kelsey Rowlings or Nick Jimenez. That will be our next battle. And again, still have the Shelly Hansen, Amanda Sorenson. Now, again, if you're just tuning in, we are live here from Burt Brothers Motor Park, and we are in our Link Engine Management Prospec Championship. Tomorrow will be round 7, but this is the final round, and a champion will be crowned here this evening around dinner time. So it'll be sweet for one of the drivers. Will it be a 3rd championship for Dmitri Brutzki? Will it be Nate Chen rising to the occasion? Also Cole Richards from Atlanta, Naples, Florida, all of it. He is a talented driver. Excited to see him rise to the occasion as well.
This might be a... Let's see what we got.
Oh, there we go. Oh, one more time, and there it is. So across the board, one more time. Good driving from both drivers, but I think they equally had similar mistakes as well.
Yeah, even though I felt like Buchanan was a little more comfortable in the chase, he also didn't look as comfortable in the lead, and vice versa, and opposite for Davis. So Good call. Let's clean it up, run it back, and now we got Kelsey Rowlings and Nick Jimenez.
You can see the stats there and the numbers. Both guy and gal in their Nissan S chassis, Nissan Z. And both these drivers, first time in competition, you know, seated 13th and 20th, so neither of them had to compete in their seating brackets. But it will be Kelsey Rowlings who leads and Jimenez in the chase position. And they are on the start line. Clear to send. Kelsey Rowlings, a longtime Formula Drift competitor, 10-year FD veteran. First woman to ever earn a previously known as Pro 2, now Prospec, as she comes into that inside clip and that second outside zone, ripping away from Jimenez. In this third outside zone, he saw come a little unwound, but stays in it. Now in this last outside zone goes Kelsey Rowlings. Jimenez, you can see just trying to slowly inch his way, not on the same line as Kelsey Rowlings. A great lead run by Kelsey Rowlings, but Nick was just a step behind and a step on the inside, kind of every point.
Yeah, I couldn't quite just catch his breath, if we might put it that way.
Good analogy.
It was a good, been watching, you know, Kelsey practice all weekend, and every lap she's improved, and it's finally come to fruition here in her first competition lead run. So here we go. Outer zone 1, outer zone, inner clip move, dropping a tire there, so that judge is going to look at as an error, but good setup in outer zone 3. Jimenez trying to gain some real estate here through outer zone 3, as Kelsey's looking pretty smooth out front through the whole entirety of that zone. Could have had a little more aggressive transition going into 4. Looked like she was hesitating a little bit, but Jimenez could have capitalized on that and gained some proximity as we take another look in our eye in the sky as Kelsey lines up for kind of a straight line initiation despite the bubble. Drops one, almost 2 tires there. Can't quite see through the smoke, but does a great job. She doesn't light off as soon as we would like to see in outer zone 3. Flirts with the inner line of that outer zone 3 and transitions. Is a little lazy into outer 4. Jimenez just couldn't quite get the firecracker going to get that Nissan Z onto the door of Kelsey's S14. So let's reverse roles here, give Jimenez the clean air, and that Coyote powered S14 will give chase. Yes.
We get it, you're a Ford guy. Again,
people got to know, okay?
People know. People know you're a Ford guy. I brought it up at the top of the show. And, you know, I'll elaborate some more, talking with some drivers in regards to, you know, the terminology. You know, we used to have a decel map. Now it's a momentum map. And I think some of the terminology, you know, talking about firing off. If you fire off, does that mean you fire on? Or, you know, is it a switch? I would say it's more of a momentum as opposed to, it's a dimmer switch. It's not a, you know what I'm saying? Where we're basically like, okay, you're floating in and then you fire off, meaning you turn on the smoke machine. I don't know if that's a, you know, again, just kind of a stigma. Here we go, Jimenez out front. You talk about that clean air, and he's got it. Kelsey Rowlings aggressive on the chase. She has to back down, but you saw her back off a little bit. Oh, and Kelsey maxing out the angle, taking, you know, slowing down the car with that angle. That might have been a really good move, kind of collecting her thoughts, getting in the dirt a little bit there. So Jimenez places the car properly out front. Kelsey in the chase position. You saw her go into that third zone. I thought she might have floated off into the dirt, but it wasn't the case. She held onto it.
Yeah, I feel like we talk about these cars riding this this fine line of needing that grip to complete this course and the control that gives you. But Jimenez did a great job of going into outer zone 3 here as we take a look from our airforce.com replay. Kelsey looking aggressive, but not as confident in the chase as I feel like Jimenez was. He just didn't have maybe the machine or the placement to begin with, where Kelsey might have had the power and aggression to do that, but she was just looking a little timid when she almost got too close and had to back off and then gained too much real estate between the two. But both parties there in their lead position dropped in outer zone 2, so that's going to be a couple errors there. But Kelsey almost dropping dirt there in outer zone 3 and sacrificed a little bit of angle to get some more proximity through outer 3 as they transition into 4. Jimenez doing a decent job. You can see him kind of feeding that wheel a little bit, but he's, for the most part, very smooth in outer zone 4, while Kelsey was just kind of bobbing and weaving in that chase position through the entirety of outer zone 4. So let's see what the judges think.
Again, two very talented drivers, a very fast, difficult course. You really got to bring it. You know, we talk and big up Seattle, such a fun track, but you really got to have that high speed. You got to dial it in. This is high speed. This is flat out. And the biggest point of contention that a lot of the drivers were talking about in the drivers meeting is, as we say, firing off in an outside zone 3.
Yeah,
timing it, anticipation, course knowledge, track awareness, the whiskers of a cat. You got to know where you're at all times and know your boundaries. And also, yeah, you're going to have to navigate smoke. We know that. I mean, if you're new to this, sorry, like you got to adapt, you know. And in the drivers meeting, it's like, you know, some of the verbiage, like I said, it's not firing off. It's a progressive thing. And if a driver does that, the judges are watching that lead car. If it is flagrantly parking it and they're slowing down, the judges are seeing that.
Right.
Trust and entrust that they have the wherewithal to know that lead car, if he's slowing down and impeding in that chase car, they're going to see that. Run your game, and if you back into them or ram them, that's that lead car's fault. So again, you take it all on both sides, man.
Yeah, like I said, you can see both parties in the lead position here. Kelsey on the left, lead position. Jimenez on the right, both dropping tire back in outer zone 2. But you can see both parties very comfortable in the chase position. But I feel like Jimenez, despite the time zone difference in his proximity there between Kelsey and his chase position, he did look more confident, where Kelsey was just kind of bobbing and weaving and not looking as confident in that chase position, where she was trying to gain ground, trying to cheat the line, or just maybe even the car itself to gain that proximity, versus Jimenez didn't have the proximity, but he was following the correct lines and showing some temperament there. So here we go.
Slide him left, slide him right, one more time. A Jimenez and a Nick Jimenez gets the victory. A Nick Jimenez gets the victory. All right, so it looks like Eggert, lead runs are better, even though the proximity, just some wavering, just overhearing the judges. So Jimenez just outshined Kelsey in better 4 and in 2. And right now we're looking at Jerry Johnson and Matthew Bystrak. Jerry Johnson, a rookie from right here in Salt Lake City. He's got that All-American livery. He comes in the driver's meeting. I'm here. You're like, okay.
We know.
Thanks, bud. Thanks, Jerry.
When you see the Monopoly man.
Yeah, dude, I don't think that car has any fuel in it. It just plugs in. It might be JJ. It's JJ power. Jerry Johnson. The 97 ripping on in. NASCAR power Toyota GT86. This dude's on fire. The Enfuego nose job here. Jerry Johnson comes on into that outside zone 3. Little hesitation on that transition. Now that last outside zone, boom, right there. Got that cage kit. Shout out to Rob. And Matthew Bystrak chasing him down, entering his 5th Prospec season, debuting this new car this year. It feels like it's got it right, but Jerry, what a weapon.
What, absolutely. It's always a real treat hearing that thing just scream as we get through outer zone 2. Bystrak getting lost in the smoke there. Both parties keeping it off the rumbles for Bystrak. Kind of struggling through that transition there, as Johnson does a great job of holding his own in outer zone 3 in a transition here. Little hesitation. I think he was trying to avoid the dirt there. Bystrak kind of taking his own radius through outer zone 4 there, as he's trying to, I don't want to say cheat the line, but he's trying to just sneak up on him, but not where you wanted to be in that chase position by any means. As you can see, Jerry dropping one tire. That's going to be the one little deficit I can see from his run, and the little hesitation. Bystrak kind of, he's just like a little offset. He needed to put that car a little further on the outside and obviously get some more approximation. You can see it. He threw a little too much angle in his transition, Bystrak, but Johnson looking smooth in that 4. So there it is. Bystrak will get the clean air.
Bystrak and Johnson. I would say Bystrak looks a little non-committal. Like he's been dating for a while, just not able to bend the knee and propose. You know, just like get on down there, brother. You got to throw it in. And Jerry Johnson is 105% all the time. So just knowing, but that could hurt him in the case here. So hopefully a spotter says, all right, here's where Bystrak's at, and ideally, you know, the spotter yesterday was watching. Again, don't know who Jerry's spotter is here, but again, his lady. Loves the cats, and again, get those whiskers out, see where those sensors and feelers are at. But he goes 100%, man. So maybe that, like I said, taking a view where Bystrak was at, not only on that run, but yesterday, and taking that consideration, because if you go 100 and Bystrak's off a little bit, you might take yourself out.
Yeah, and I feel like Bystrak is still maybe getting used to this car. It's his debut this year, so. But he could also surprise us. So here we go.
Okay, Bystrak goes into that first outside zone. Jerry drops into formation into this outside zone 3. There goes Bystrak. And this is what I was talking about. So here's Bystrak. It comes at him a little bit. Jerry's still applying the pressure, transitioning. Jerry tries to time it. Good proximity. Oh, Bystrak.
Keep it together.
You know, by comparison, like I said, Bystrak, not really committed. He was more committed on that battle, but you know who's even more committed? Jerry Johnson.
Absolutely.
I mean, his nose might be on fire, but his rear end is dusty.
Oh, big time. I mean, look at that Mustang was just whipping it after that OZ1 as we get through into outer zone 3, and Jerry's just right there with him. Timed that transition great. You could see a gobs of handbrake being pulled by Bystrak before that zone, but both parties doing a good job here. A little waiver from Johnson before that transition, but boom, gets in that pocket and stays with him through thick and thin, Jared, as they get through some dirt of that Utah. Johnson almost became where he needed to be in the lead position, if you will, in that outer zone 4. Take another look in the chase cam here as Johnson does a good job of could show his temperament, bettering the angle of Bystrak is going in there. Does pull a little bit out, gains that proximity, a little bit of wavering, and the transition here is a good shot. Good attack, sacrifices the angle, but then comes back into it and commits. You never see the smoke dissipate from the back of that Johnson's vehicle. So there we go.
And yeah, and Jerry did a good job navigating through the smoke because Bystrak didn't kick off a lot of smoke, but he really committed. And there it is. Jerry Johnson gets the win. All right, Jerry, the 97 of Toyota. As we are continuing on the action, Lorette is with Mr. Nate Chen. Moving on.
Moving on, and so excited about it. But Nate, it wasn't easy because you've had a weekend full of frustrations.
Yeah, it's been a crazy weekend. We had a issue with a setting that did not allow us to have nitrous yesterday, and we didn't really figure that out until this morning. So luckily we changed that, and that basically changed all of the settings that we were struggling with yesterday. So it was like driving a completely different car this morning. After the first practice run, our crank pulley bolt fell off, so then we had to fix that. Huge shout out to Cody Buchanan for lending us one. And then we got maybe 3 laps total in practice, and then it was out top 32 battle, which I've never actually won a top 32 battle here. So it felt really good to get that monkey off my back, and it was a huge relief.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, we all know the story here. 100-point tie. One of the championship contenders parked right behind Nate. Again, like Nate said, lucky to get that monkey off his back after not ever winning a top 32 battle here in Utah. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Lorette. And yeah, man, I don't know who you need to call, Nate, but you need to apologize to somebody. Sounds like you got some gremlins there, and just be one and create a relationship as we are looking at the one more time of Cody Buchanan and Jack Davis. Like I said, Easter has arrived here in Utah.
A little later, early, depending on what you look at it.
Yeah, POS, dude. The people have spoken. There's only one Easter egg dime company. That is POS. Is this battle brought to you by POS? All right, Cody Buchanan out front. Jack Davis in that chase position. Drops into the outside zone 1. Pass an inside clip. Well done. Look how settled the cars are by comparison to that first one. Jack, boom. He is really trying to force an error on Cody Buchanan, but Cody unwavered. Now to that last outside zone 4. Both them bringing it on in. Buchanan and Davis. That's what we're looking for.
Yes.
That is more exemplary of the talent we know they have between both Buchanan and Davis. Great job.
I don't know what Davis flipped, but that switch was the right one. That was an excellent job in that chase position. He cleaned that up, and Buchanan looked a little more aggressive. He turned it up a few percent, but let's check it out. Davis taking advantage of that bubble in the chase position as Buchanan throws it in through inner clip 1 and outer zone 2. May have dropped a tire there, but great mimicking by Davis here as he gets into the pocket. Nice and smooth. Doesn't look like he's making a lot of adjustments like the previous battle, but could have used a little more proximity if he wanted to really edge the judges on here, as Buchanan looking smooth out front in that Pastel Z as Davis puts on the pressure real well on the last half of that outer zone 4. And you can see here, Jared, as they just ride that razor edge through that outer zone 3. Buchanan's been dialing that in just really good all weekend, and Davis just closing the door on Buchanan.
That was sick.
That was that's what we needed to do.
That's what we know they're capable of, right?
They just had to shake it off. I don't know what Davis did, but that was good. They made the changes they needed to, and Buchanan didn't turn it up too much, but he turned it up just enough to paint that good canvas that Davis allowed him to paint the chase on.
And back to the line. Jack Davis will lead. And Cody Buchanan now chasing him down. We saw Cody kind of just modify his line to make sure that you know, he wasn't in that smoke and bathing in it. We'll see if he makes those modifications to his line overall. Jack Davis out front, Deutschwerks, BMW, good fluid. I like it. Wasn't too like nasty and aggressive. Now Cody Buchanan doesn't know what to do with his hands and doesn't know what to do with that Z. You can see him again modifying the car, get into that pocket. Let's see who's gonna sink in the sword. Jack Davis, he goes out just a little touch, and Buchanan, dude, that was great. I mean, that was a finals-esque battle. That looked really solid from both Davis and Buchanan.
Yeah, we're going to be splitting hairs here, Jared, as I'm having a hard time seeing who dominated versus the other here. But look at the mimicking of Buchanan there, and a great job of setting himself up in that chase position. Davis, really good job of filling up the entire outer zone 3, and Buchanan sitting there right with him, timing that transition really well and putting on that pressure through outer zone 4, sacrificing a little bit of angle. He could have matched a little better and just about booped that driver door of Jack Davis's BMW. So that's going to be a really tough decision here for the judges here as we take another look in our eye in the sky. Buchanan puts the pressure on early and never lets go as we get through outer zone 1. Great transition, like I said before. Buchanan just timed that really well, but so did Davis. I think we'll see a side-by-side here shortly as we get through the course here and see that transition by both parties just doing a great job. Very smooth, very calculated, and very intentful from both drivers. It was just like they could have switched cockpits and we wouldn't have known. They just almost drove the same chase. Like that was intense.
Yeah, that was like camping, intense. Waiting for the verdict here. Who's going to come out on top?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can see very similar starts. Davis, had a little more proximity from the get-go, but Buchanan closed that gap in comparison where Davis kind of dropped off in that chase position. And Buchanan, they both had very similar entries into outer zone 3 in the lead position where the chase, Buchanan did better the proximity there, and I feel like his attack was a little more aggressive here going into 4 where Davis also made up that ground, but Buchanan was almost on the door of Davis in comparison. So might have split hairs here. I think Buchanan had just a little bit, a couple few percent better chase than Davis. So, but it's not for me to decide.
Yeah, you shut your mouth. I'm going to put some sopa in it.
Shawshank.
Again, have we capitalized on, and also, did your wife assume your name or did she go the?
No, she didn't. She was like, that's too much work.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
All right. And I assume Abel Sopa.
Yeah, Abel Sopa.
And did we capitalize on this name of your brand of your body products?
Who was that soap guy that you?
I haven't seen him in a minute. I haven't seen him in a minute, but I think Fight Club, Mischief, Mayhem, Soap. That's what we need. We need. Yeah, that was their motto: Mischief, Mayhem, Soap. And obviously, the first rule is you don't talk about it.
Right.
Fight Club. Speaking of Fight Club, these two gladiators waiting for the outcome here, and this is much more exemplary of their driving prowess in the second one more time battle, their first one more time battle, but their second battle overall, the SRD Nissan Z. And scores are in. Slide him left for Buchanan, right for Davis, and 1 vote for Cody, 2 votes for Cody, and 3 votes for Cody Buchanan. A great effort by Jack Davis as we are advancing on. And all right, I'm ready for this interview. Lorette, don't feed him any energy drinks, okay? Do not feed the animals. Lorette, down to you and Jerry Johnson.
This man does not need any more energy drinks, caffeine. He is ready to go at all times. Rookie of the year, you are in that chase. We'll see what happens at the end of the day. But Jerry, the top 32 is so stressful. Talk to us about that.
So this is my home track. I have all of my friends and family out there in the field. So I wanted to perform top 32. I didn't want to get knocked out. Believe it or not, we have fought battle with a lot of problems with the car. Excuse me. Sorry, a lot of emotion going on right now. I want to thank the team for all the stuff they've done this weekend. We're really going to try to stay in the chase, in the fight for Rookie of the Year.
Is that where the emotion's coming from?
Yeah. There's a lot of everything. I'm fired up. I'm fired up. That's all.
Woo! Jerry, thank you so much. Best of luck moving forward, guys.
You gotta love that. Again, the highs are highs, and just the overall emotion. You know, there's some drivers that just love doing this, and if you're not doing it, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. You know, and a lot of the, you know, in any motorsport, there's some drivers that do it for the love of the game and hanging with their family, hanging with their friends, and Jerry Johnson has a good time doing what he does. Moving on to our next battle, looks like we got Mr. Knapik, the Donut Media S chassis, and he is going against Cody Dempster. You talked about all the issues he had from the victory. Talking about pistons, talking about rings, talking about some issues, and right now Knapik is on and running. Look at Cody Dempster slingshotting up there, gets involved in the dirt, but Knapik unhinged. Comes in that last outside zone. Donut Optima Batteries S chassis. The spark is alive and well, and Knapik, that was the best run I've seen him partake in. Just got that clean air. Knapik was just laser focused.
I don't know what he had for breakfast here, but
give him more.
That was awesome. He did have a couple tires off there in the rumble strips. One big deficit there, but the rest of the run, pretty dang good. As Cody's kind of struggling here, as you said, he got a little tangled up with the dirt. Adam could have been a little deeper in outer zone 3, but does a great job of transitioning smooth into 4. Also a little bit shallow, but Cody finally gets into the picture here as he gets to the rear left tire of that Corvette of Cody Dempster. As we take a look at the chase cam here, you can see just one tire off there in outer zone 1. Great position on inner clip 1. Outer zone 2 looking really good. Knapik and fires off just about at the right time, but Cody getting probably 2 tires off there, so that's going to be a little difference in the chase besides the overall attitude of his chase run here against Adam Knapik. As we take a little zoom out here on this Burt Brothers Motorsport Park as they finish the run. We'll switch them around and give Knapik, or not Knapik, but Cody Dempster a little chance of the clean air, see what he can give Adam Knapik to chase.
There are the stats and the numbers from Cody and Knapik. Now we are going to see Cody Dempster, and you know, the spotter over here, Big J, cheering him on. But again, spotter methodology. You know, some are cheerleaders, some are calling it like shaming almost, you know, like a David Goggins, like, come on, man, step it up. And some are like, you know, hey, good job, buddy. You know, some are Disney, and some are SEALs, you know. So let's see what we got here. Cody Dempster, a swing thing in front of Knapik. Cody Dempster brings into that second outside zone. Here comes Knapik. Now there he goes, applying the pressure. Knapik straightens out a little bit. Sorry there for the tap. He's trying to tap his door here, and Knapik absolutely. Oh, and Cody comes unwound. So both these guys a little loose.
Come on, finish line's back there, boys.
Wow, they were. That got a little hairy. That got a little hairy for both the guys. That was very. Let's take a look at it.
I had him aggressive right off the bat here. Look at the approach there he took. He let Cody just swing in front of that S14 as we bring it around through outer zone 2. Great position here, Adam. Wavering a little bit, but he does have a little better proximity versus Cody's chase as he almost knocks on his right door there. Great transition here by Cody. Throws a little too much angle on it. Extremely absent in the first half of that outer zone 1 as Knapik does a great job of adapting. It gives him a little tap after the finish, but that's going to be null and void after the finish line, of course. As we take another look through outer zone 3, Knapik can see pulling some angle out of the car, gaining some proximity, but Cody's throwing a massive smoke and angle out of that Corvette. Adam does a great dive here, but despite his effort and aggression there, Cody threw in too much angle, and Adam had to kind of pull back. But let's see what the judges say. Slide him left, right. What do we think, Jared?
Slide him left. Knapik dominant over Cody Dempster. Cody just unfortunately had too many issues, but again, Knapik he was really pushing hard there. Almost I don't want to say took himself out, but. Great running by Cody Dempster yesterday, but unfortunately his weekend is done and his season is done. For everybody that gets knocked out, great season. Hats off to a very talented field of Prospec drivers, including Cody, and again, some great driving yesterday.
Yeah, this was exciting to see here. I mean, we were only not even halfway through our 32, so let's take a look. Oh, we got Lorette down there. So
yep. And we're taking a look at how it is shaped up so far. We have one hole, that top left corner, and that is between Amanda Sorenson and the driver that is with Lorette Nickel, and that is Shelly Hansen. Down to you, Lorette.
Thank you, Jared. We just wanted to get an update. How's everything? Hi, how's everything on the car?
Car's great. I had a lot of issues in practice, and yesterday I was struggling with a lot of power steering, front steering issues, things breaking, arms bent, broken, tie rods, all these things, and then finally got the car dialed and felt really good out there, and then had a little hiccup with Amanda and some car parts. So, yeah.
All right, well, how do you refocus at this point?
You know, it's just, it's all calculations in my head, and I felt really good, and I was hitting all the zones, and I'm just going to go out there and just do the same thing, and try to just hit all those zones and be right on her.
Love it. Do the drifting thing. Best of luck. Thank you so much for the update, guys.
Lorette, and thank you, Shelly Hansen. A good attitude. She's always high-fiving, asking questions, and again, a cancer survivor, and love her attitude, great attitude, and hopefully you have a great attitude because we are elevated, baby. We are here at Burt Bros Motor Park. That's right, the Burt Brothers taking on the naming rights here in Utah. When we come back, more action in our Link Engine Management Prospec Championship.
ECU, let's get it.
We got the spiciest K-Series built.
Supercharged Ford Eliminator engine.
Oh, good old SR20 Blink Monsoons. So rowdy.
Naturally aspirated, 1,000 horsepower, LS-based engine. And then we're going to add nitrous on top of it.
Running an S54 controlled by Link ECU. Link direct injection EcoBoost Fox body.
I actually put an FA24 in it.
B58, E46, Link ECU.
No matter what engine you have, it's stock K24 or it's a 1,000 wheel 2J. Link ECU all day.
These are my race treads for going the distance.
Racetreads.com. Tires for every adventure.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Air Force, Aim High. Type S, official lighting sponsor of Formula Drift. Lights, camera, power, fun. GT Radial, experience the performance. And Fast Orange, the official hand cleaner of Formula Drift.
And we are back. A beautiful day here in Utah. Thanks for joining us. Jared Dienda, Matt Sopa, your tour guides up here in the box next to our judges, Vernon, Brian, and Reese. And down on the ground, Lorette Nickel. Welcome back to Utah. And we are advancing on Cole Richards, Cameron Sorenson. Cole Richards tied for first, going against 13-year-old Cameron Sorenson?
Yeah.
Wow.
Incredible.
Really cool. So here we go. Cole Richards will lead. Cameron Sorenson giving chase. Cameron earned his spot, narrowly making it here into competition. Cole Richards passed an inside clip. Now into that third. Look at him just ripping in. Comes a little unwound, steps back into it. Cameron Sorenson, that Spider BMW. Now coming that last outside zone. Cole Richards. Oh, look at Cameron. Hello. Cameron pushing him around.
Oh, no.
It might, you know, Cameron was right there. Like I said, there was contact there, but how much did that affect him? Did he come unwound? Was it, you know, that?
You know, at first glance, it looked like Richards was off on his own accord, but let's take another look and see if we can deduce something. It was the chase driver kind of being a bully, or not, but let's take a look as Richards just slams that thing into outer zone 1. Cameron right there with him as they were a little shallow in 2, so he's kind of doing a little beeline approach into outer zone 3, and Cameron sacrificed the angle to gain that proximity through 3. Little wavering through and left foot breaking through Richards. Now let's take another look at this, Jared. As great transition from Sorenson, but little contact. I mean, it was so close. We had a good drone shot. Maybe Justin could give us a little more insight there as we take another look. We'll start it out through interclip 1. As you can see, he was a little shallow there. He might have flirted with the paint on that outer zone 2, but he set himself up here, fired off a little bit too late, but he does make up for it in the latter half. So as we do this transition, we bring it around here, slowing it down. I don't see the cars being upset from contact. See, the dirt kind of almost put that back end into Cameron, but I feel like that was an independent. What do you think, Jared?
Yeah,
there's a D bead maybe too, so that's truly
I'm seeing that back right for this is if it's just Cole going and that back right grabbing and D beating and throwing him off, that would suck
big time.
You know, not to.
Yeah, because he.
Yeah, I'm just you know, I don't want to see Cole go out this way. It happens. You know, I had a great conversation with Cole earlier in the pits, but let's take a look. Was there contact that maybe forced him just a little off?
It was. You put a piece of paper between them. The only time I seen the cars upset together was after the dirt drop, and then the tail end kind of hit Cameron's car, but that's just at face value here. Maybe the judges see something different. Okay.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
Stay right there, Justin. I know it's. So now the rumble strip stops, and then the car enters the dirt there, and it looks independent to me. The car's
I think a big indicator would be grinding on the door. Let's take a look at the door. I mean, that front, I would say the biggest contact, the first point of contact would be Cameron's front right, potentially on the door of Cole. If there isn't any sort of body damage on that left side, because obviously Cole independent would go off, hit that back right, the bumper gets shedded, but there would be rubbing on the door. That would be the biggest indicator that there was contact.
And being a black car, it's really hard to see from here. We'll have boots on the ground to tell us. Maybe we can, Justin, get in there a little closer to that driver door if you could.
Cole Richards, 21 years old. The GR86, his car has seen many different iterations over the years.
Looks pretty clean.
Yeah, I am not seeing.
Not even on the side skirt, which probably protrudes more than a door, so that thing is looking pretty minty.
Just on the left.
Right.
Yeah, so, you know, Cameron Sorenson began drifting at 11. He won the 2024 Colorado Drift Pro-Am Championship and became the youngest Formula Drift driver. And I think that, unfortunately, Cole just...
And then the rumble strip stops, and that's where it ends.
He dips and grabs.
Even then, like, the cars even go away in the front. They start to separate and taper there until right there.
Comes unwound.
Yep. It's such a bummer.
Yeah. Over here, the judges want to confirm with them. I could see them doing their hand signals. And just confirm with the judges, that was an independent off track by Cole. Let's throw Reese on the headset there and get some confirmation.
Yeah, we were reviewing. We were trying to get as many reviews as we can to see if there was any contact, and we don't seem to see any contact. It was really close. A good portion of it was they had really great proximity, and then he just kind of floats off. We're going to see here. You can see proximity starts to close. We start to get really close here, really close. We don't feel like there's any contact here. We can see he already went off track, and then right about here is when we see maybe like a rut or something that he went. We wanted to make sure that that wasn't a push or anything like that. We don't see it that way, so we view it as an independent.
Yeah, and also in addition to that, our track staff down there, no damage on the car on the left-hand side as we saw from up here just with that camera angle, and they have confirmed it down there. So that would basically imply, and physically there's no damage on that left-hand side.
Unfortunately.
And that is a huge shock to the Cole Richards program. You know, I had a beautiful conversation with him before we kick things off today. He says, don't suck, be better, but because Cole Richards DB'd on that right-hand side, he has to be forced out. So Cole Richards and his championship contention is over due to Nate Chen advancing. We have yet to see Dmitri Brutzki, but so unfortunate for Cole Richards. Love his driving, great attitude. He's just, you know, so, and Cameron Sorenson is calling a comp timeout. Even what?
Okay. Maybe
so Cameron Sorenson calling a competition timeout, and kind of shocked by that because all he needs to do is a by run.
A non-judged lead run is what I like. Before we had to do like a non-judged qualifying run to be a by run. Does that make sense? But also, if you don't have qualifying, I call it a non-judged lead run, independent lead run. But yeah, Cameron, so he's going to pull off the track here, assess maybe the thing is overheating or something. We're going to get Ryan Kaufman and Josh Stewart, the commander, on the line.
All right, so before we get moving on to the next battle, Lorette, what's up?
Hey, I just wanted to get a word with Cole. Could you tell us what your perspective was? What happened out there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the track got super grippy over the course from practice to now, and I really thought I was right there on the track limits, and I thought I got a little nudge from Cameron Sorenson, but I guess I just went off, and that's the way she goes.
Cole, thank you so much. You should be so proud of yourself and how much effort you put in this year. Guys.
Thank you, Lorette, and you know, obviously deserve it of some time there as our cars are staged and ready, but thank you for that insight. And Cole, thank you for the humility carrying there. He's like, yep, that's the way it goes, and that's a great attitude. Cole, you definitely, outside of being a great drifter, just a great young man. So thank you for everything that you do for the sport, man. So again, hold your head high, but unfortunately, Cole Richards' championship contention is over. Ryan Kaufman, Josh Stewart, here we go. Kaufman out front. FC RX-7, the taxi garage. These are a lot larger than those crazy carts that they modify, but the FC RX-7 comes into that zone, and oh, buddy, you can see Josh Stewart, and again, retired lieutenant commander. The commander demands some attention. Yeah. But Kaufman, give him the respect where respect is due, but he's got to run his own game. And the FC in blue. I'm a sucker for a good FCRX7, and what those taxi garage fellas do is pretty awesome. But the commander, he was twisting the screws, brother.
Just a good-looking machine, that FC out front here, as Kaufman brings it in through underclip one, and the commander Stewart doing a great job of mimicking everything Kaufman was doing. We could just see the proximity there, but he did have to make a little adjustment. Kaufman could have been a little deeper in outer zone 3 as Commander Stewart loses a little proximity. I love the attack here. Does make contact, it seems there. The car's looked upset and kind of almost pushes Kaufman back in outer zone 4 as he tries to make up some ground there. Taking a look from the eye in the sky, Justin Smash, as we see Stewart giving chase, as that you can see this transition, and there's just a little, maybe a little paint swap there, and kind of upsets the car of a Corvette more than anything. So I feel like Stewart was a little more too aggressive there in that chase position in that transition, so it might be a little deficit in his camp. So let's give Stewart the clean air as we take a look at the stats here.
Yeah, Stewart got a little stabby, just like stabbing back and forth. Ryan Kaufman coming all the way from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the Mazda FC RX-7. Just an iconic chassis. Gotta love it. Not the easiest car to set up, those FCs, but I love them.
Yeah, they're good-looking machines.
Yeah. All right, so Stewart, again, the commander, began drifting in 2019. Wife as his handler, daughter as his spotter. So absolutely a family affair here in that Stewart Racing Corvette. Stewart taps that rumble strip, hits it and quits it. Now, a lot more fluid out front, but I'll tell you what, Kaufman, no Kaufman at Kaufman. He is smooth sailing right now. A lot of Navy themes going on. Stewart comes a little unwound. Kaufman adapts. Good awareness. Did you see that awareness of Kaufman? You saw Stewart come a little unwound. Kaufman backed off, but it wasn't violent, didn't panic.
Yeah.
And just modified his line just a little bit. Well done by Stewart and Kaufman.
Yeah, I always like seeing the temperament of the chase driver, like exactly like you said, not too attacking, not panicking. As Stewart almost straightens up there, I think that's why he was a little wide there in outer zone 2, dropping a couple tires. Also flirting with the rumble strips there, going in outer zone 3 as Kaufman puts on the pressure where Kaufman wasn't as deep in outer zone 3 along with Stewart in their lead positions, but here we go. In outer zone 4, Stewart kind of weevil and wobble in there as Kaufman does a great job of adapting to that less than stellar outer zone 4 performance of Stewart as we get to the chase cam here as outer zone 2. You can see 1, 2, maybe just 1 from Stewart, maybe flirting with the 1 drop there in the rumble strip. You can see the left foot braking, just the wheeling and dealing of these guys. Getting through outer zone 3 is a good attack here from Kaufman. He feels like he probably had an advantage, and he was just showing his temperament. That's what I like to see. You're not trying to, like you say, stabbing the other car in front of you, but let them know you're there, but not making any great mistakes.
Yep. There we are, still working on Amanda Sorensen's BMW, and also, keep in mind the Sorensen camp. Cameron Sorensen called that competition timeout, even on a bye run. Again, a little bit of a head scratcher here. Let's take a look at the BC Racing side by side.
I'd agree here. You can see a similar approximation. We got Kaufman leading on the left, Stewart on the right, and you can see him drop there on the right there in the lead position as Kaufman and Stewart have very similar positions here in that lead position. But I would say that Stewart was in a little deficit in that chase position, or Kaufman had a better chase in that outer zone 3, and same thing in outer zone 4. So I think we're going to go back to I think the deciding factor is that chase position in 3 and 4 that Kaufman, I feel like, did a little better job than Commander Stewart.
There we are looking at the 2 cars parked, Stewart and Kaufman. And there we are looking at Amanda Sorensen, talking to Trey, I believe.
Yeah, just, a casual tire rear suspension rebuild project going on here.
Kaufman and Stewart, a one more time from Reese Merritt, another one more time. So mistakes on either side.
New life.
Yeah, I mean, again, we saw, was it 1 went with Kaufman, correct? Was it you, Brian? And I was kind of leaning that way. I was thinking that it was going to be Kaufman, but I appreciate that. There's Amanda Sorensen as Cameron is going to take his bye run, the little brother. And let's talk with Lorette, who is down there once again with Amanda Sorensen. You got father and daughter, Lorette.
There he is.
I thought that was Randy. That was Kojima, my bad.
Hi.
Lorette, down to you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jared. So, guys, I just wanted to get an update. I know earlier you said that you didn't ask. Should I ask you or should I ask Mike?
Yeah, let Mike do the explaining.
All right, Amanda, thanks. All right, can you give us an update on the car?
Broke a lot of stuff, but we fixed it.
Yeah, and what exactly did you fix?
About everything in the left corner. Yeah, it was quite a job, but the crew is kicking some ass, and the car is going to be good.
Love that. And as he said, the Sorensen team had all the parts. Mike, thank you very much for your insight. And Amanda, come here. How's your confidence going into the next couple of laps?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not mad about 2 more laps, So it is the last round of the season, and it's always so sad because we have such a long off season. But I think it's fun to just embrace the journey, and I know 2026 is going to be huge, but things like this are what make our team better, and as long as we can walk away from the weekend feeling like we won, whether that's on the podium or just with the spirits of the team, I think that's what our goal is. So I'm excited, and I'm ready to go rip with Shelly.
And Cameron right now on his bye run, what would you tell him if you could talk to him?
Just enjoy it. Enjoy every single lap, every gear shift, every turn, because there's so much, it's just cool to be here. It's such a cool opportunity to be here, and I think when you're young and you grow up in this environment, sometimes you don't realize, but the opportunity to just be here and drive is so overwhelming, and I feel so blessed, so enjoy every moment of it.
Amazing. And looking forward for 2026, is there a refocus?
Yeah, so focus for 2026 is going to be a lot. I am driving overseas in a full season, so I'm excited to announce that, and I'll be looking forward to doing more rounds in America also.
All right, Amanda, thank you so much, and best of luck. We'll see her on the track soon.
Good luck to you, Amanda. Obviously a great contribution to the drifting community, not just here domestically, but across the globe, as she said. So it looks like we got a little debris on track. We'll clean it up, but love the perspective, she says. Have fun, because, you know, sometimes we get these kids that are in racing and they just grow up so quick, right? And obviously being a father, us, and then obviously, you know, Amanda still being young, you know, she's 22 years old, and you know, Brandon, and here's Cameron doing his thing, and you know, I mean, shoot, here in Manoa. So sometimes they grow up and get and just maturity, you know, just happens like that. So it's pretty cool. But at the same time, have fun while you're doing it. Speaking of fun, Colette Davis and Justin Ruth. Colette Davis taking a stab at, again, that Rookie of the Year, but Jerry Johnson is just having fun as well, but competitive as well. So all things equating to who is going to be our Formula Drift Prospec Rookie of the Year. Colette Davis in contention of that. Justin Ruth is going to try to give it his all against this Fitment Industries BMW of Colette Davis. So again, a little debris on the track. We'll clean it up, and we'll continue with the action. Most recently, that One More Time battle being voted on. Again, not majority. There were two that said one more time. And Kaufman and Stewart will run again. And looks like there's our top 10 standings. So Nate Chen, this is real time. So Nate Chen does assume the lead. Dmitri Brutzki has yet to run. With every win in this top 32 bracket in our competition is 10-point allotted. So Nate Chen, again, if Brutzki is out, he will be our champion. Let's talk about that. As our Fitment Industries BMW, Colette Davis, attempting to be a Formula Drift Prospec Rookie of the Year into that third outside zone. Ruth, whoa, buddy, springs out of action, not into action, that last outside zone. And Colette Davis continues on, places that BMW absolutely flawlessly through that last outside zone. Ruth spun out in the chase.
I think he hit that same rut Amanda did, Jared. Jeez,
right.
So Pete.
It just went off course, and that, again, that is Narnia, man. You go out there, you don't know what is out there.
Yeah,
it's the unknown. You might not come back. So Ruth looks a little dusty, looks a little antiqued. Hopefully the car is okay. And also consider it was under his own accord. Yeah. So if he is debeated, he is out. Similar situation to that of Cole Richards retiring from competition.
Yeah, looks like Ricky's going to take a look at the left rear, and we'll know here soon. Yeah, it was looking good for both parties. Justin looked like he was kind of playing a game of catch-up from the get-go, as Colette just felt like a rocket ship in that BMW, filling all the zones and set herself up really good, lighting off right at the entry of outer zone 3, where Ruth just kind of, I don't know if he overdrove the car, and the car just said abandoned ship, so we can slow it down here. As you can see, the smoke kind of tells a tale here. He was almost 2 tires off in the rumble strip to begin with, and then he might have been panicking, trying to just gain that real estate between him and Colette. Colette kind of pulled some angle out of the car. But you can see Justin Ruth just getting a hold of that dirt and just about completing a 360 in that gravel. Yeah, that was pretty violent.
And unfortunately, another DB.
Oh,
so
man.
Ruth is out, and this, hey, pro spec, every driver from here on out, don't dance with the devil in the pale moonlight, or don't dance with the dust here in Utah, because it'll bite back and Ruth will have to retire. He did it under his own power, was not forced, and unfortunately the hands on the hips, that implies, you could just see the body language here. Unfortunately, Justin Ruth will have to retire. That means Colette Davis will have a bye run and continue on for that Rookie of the Year. So right now, Rookie of the Year rankings, Jerry Johnson leads the pack. Colette Davis, she is 13 points behind. With this advancement, only 3 points behind Jerry Johnson. Colin Zielinski, 32. Shelly Hansen, what's that? What do you got?
Yeah, Jerry should have 75 points. But
all right, so we'll clean this up. We'll be right back. I'm just reading the information that was given to me, so we will soon find out how this happens as Colette Davis will take her by run. But first, we got to clear the track. We'll be right back here at Formula Drift Elevated.
Racetreads.com. Tires for every adventure.
ECU, let's get it.
We got the spiciest K-Series built.
Supercharged Ford Eliminator engine.
Oh, good old SR20. Blink Monsoon is so rowdy.
Naturally aspirated, 1,000 horsepower, LS-based engine. And then we're gonna add nitrous on top of it.
Running an S54 controlled by Link ECU. Link direct injection EcoBoost Fox body.
I actually put an FA24 in it.
B58, E46, Link ECU.
No matter what engine you have, it's a stock K24 or it's a 1,000 wheel 2J. Link ECU all day.
Welcome back to the streets of Long Beach. Once again, here we are. Cars are staged, the flags are waving, the umbrellas are out, the track is hot, the wind is blowing, and the drivers are ready. He is Chris the Force Forward! Force applying the pressure outside, go free! Make some noise for Northern California zone, the beast from the Bay, Nashville! Do that outside zone, that Corvette slides it. Oh! You know him, you love him, Mr. Adam LZ! Look at Adam LZ in his BMW.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Welcome to Taco Bell. What can I get started for you?
I'd like a Cantina chicken bowl, please, and the Tropical Punch Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Pull ahead to the pickup window and try not to leave a trail this time. Nice drifting, Freddie. Enjoy your Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Thank you.
Welcome back to competition. A bye run from Colette Davis. And just to clarify, coming into this round of competition, 13 points separated Jerry Johnson and Colette Davis. Talking strictly Rookie of the Year. So with this bye run, they will hold that gap of 13 points. I believe who ends the furthest in this competition will, again, unofficially be our Rookie of the Year. But here comes Colette Davis and her Fitment Industries BMW advancing on. And she'd love to get on the podium. Congratulations to her, and unfortunate for Mr. Justin Ruth.
I think Davis will have to win one or two battles ahead of Johnson in this bracket to get that Rookie of the Year.
Yep. Yeah, just given it's 10 points for every victory. So yeah, you're right. Basically, if Johnson lost in 16, she would need to at least get into 4. She'd have to get into 4 because of 13 points. If she just gets one ahead, there's a 3-point gap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2. There you go. 2. talking about the mathing here. Let's go back to the Ryan Kaufman, Josh Stewart battle.
Yeah, let's see if they can make some adjustments. I feel like there wasn't huge mistakes by either party by any means. They just don't leave it in the judge's hands, as we like to say.
Ryan Kaufman. Yep. Yeah, we were talking about Stewart being a little stabby, talking about the car kind of lunging forward and back. I think Kaufman had good placement, but he had some mistakes as far as placement of the vehicle, those outside zones. Stay off the rumble strip, like stay off the freaking grass, as they say in Friday. But stay off those rumble strips. That is essentially off course as well.
Correct.
So Kaufman will lead. Stewart will give chase. Let's see how the commander executes here in this chase position. See some refinements. Talking about the family affair. And the taxi garage, Mazda FCRX7 leads once again. Stewart simultaneously initiating into that first outside zone and into the second, transitioning into the third. Stewart gets involved in that dirt. That is dangerous territory. Now into that last outside zone. And Kaufman rips it on in, and Stewart a lot more composure. I felt like, okay, you got a bit lucky there with Kaufman making mistakes, so a lot more refined.
Yeah, I feel like he used his temperament in that left foot braking perhaps in that chase, but right away, really aggressive in both camps here as we get through interclip 1 really well. Kaufman doing a good job. Stewart a little late to the party here, good in outer zone 3, but he makes up the ground. Kaufman getting a little deficit there in the dirt drop as we get through outer zone 3, and here's the transition, boom. Stewart right there, kind of reading Kaufman a little more inquisitively, but loses some real estate there and tries to pull some angle out of the car to gain some proximity. As we take a look at our boy Justin Smash, you can see that in outer zone 3, that dirt drop here as they almost went wheel to wheel there coming out of outer zone 3. And Stewart doing a great job of transitioning and reading that FC of Ryan Kaufman out front, but he just couldn't close the door before the finish line. Now, mistakes on both parties. I feel like there was some cleaning up to do. Let's give Commander Stewart some clean air in that C6. Kaufman will give chase.
Give him the respect he deserves, but we will see if Kaufman can apply the pressure. We saw Kaufman throw up a little dirt there, but we saw just it is unforgiving, unrelentless. The dirt don't care.
Yeah, you can stay in it all you want, but it's gonna do what it wants.
Tremors. Doing the movie, man. Those ride the worm. Josh Stewart will lead the commander out front, initiates into that first outside zone, right on that inside clip. Both the drivers now coming into that third big long outside zone. Stewart, little left foot brake tap. Good fluidity for both of them. Now bringing it on home into that last outside zone. Stewart, Stewart straightened out. He grips up. And that threw Kaufman off. Let's see different angles here. Let's see the eye in the sky, the truth serum. I think everything was pretty clean, decently tidy, but that last outside zone, that's where I want to look.
Yeah, I kind of want to deduce that because I shoot from the hip there. I'm not sure. It looked independent, but you see Kaufman almost left foot and understeering into the outer zone 1 there after the clip, and here we go. A little flirt with disaster with the rumble strips here, but Kaufman matching the angle of Commander Stewart as he gains some proximity, lose a little bit there before outer zone 3. Could have been a little more aggressive in that transition, but Stewart straightens out there, and Kaufman almost leads him into the dirt as he loses position. But I felt like Kaufman could have stayed with him a little better, but that's asking a lot of these drivers to adapt that soon. Like, it looked like that C6 Corvette was going to unwind in 4, but let's take another look through outer zone 3 as the Commander Stewart pours on the smoke, and that FC is kind of sacrificing a little bit of angle to gain that proximity. You can see him just maxing out the angle, pulling it back out, unwinding, and Kaufman doing a decent job of adapting, so that's why he lost that proximity. So you really can't put that on Kaufman, where Stewart wasn't exactly the position of the car, the attitude wasn't.
In which area? All
less
of them?
ideal. Just in that outer zone 4, yeah, where it kind of unwound.
I was looking at Kaufman on initiation. So Kaufman leading on the left, Stewart leading on the right. Watch Kaufman's initiation outside zone 1.
On the right side.
He's on
here.
the inside.
Okay, yeah.
So now watch outside zone 3. He's on the inside as well. Stewart a little deeper. Kaufman leads.
Okay.
So
you feel like Stewart's overall lead was a little dominant over
I'm just pointing out mistakes and some makes.
Okay. all the recipes.
Yeah, there's, again, I think both of them had decent lead runs, and to your point, there were some mistakes by Stewart, outside zone 4. Kaufman, outside zone 3. You saw him straighten up and then get into the dirt. So it's a tough one.
If we go like chase to chase, I feel like Stewart was a little more confident, but he also might have had a less wavering lead car to follow than Kaufman did.
Right. Yeah, you can only go so far if the car impedes. But there it is. Ryan Kaufman gets 1 vote and
another.
Another one more time. So Kaufman collectively has had 2 votes and 4 one more times.
I agree. Clean it up.
What I think is, honestly, so I was saying Kaufman on that first battle. I was leaning more towards Stewart in this battle.
Okay.
So I think that Kaufman, unfortunately, he was on his lead run. You know, it's okay. It's just like your opinion, man. And again, I just think, you know, the 2 one more times, I would have forced those into kind of Stewart just because of Kaufman on his lead run. He had some mistakes, and then also in those chases, he didn't hit the outside zone 1.
Right.
He didn't hit outside zone 2. Stewart wasn't absolutely spectacular in either of those, but I think that Kaufman just had a little bit of edge. If you know, gun to head, terrible figure of speech, but if you were forced to make a decision, that's where I would have gone. Okay. But again, I respect, we are not analyzing and breaking it down, but that's where I'm at. I support the judges and their decision, and I just like having the banter here.
It's hard to
quantify,
and this is,
and what's crazy is we'll like take our headsets off and we'll talk more about drifting. That's what we've done over 20 plus years. That's what's crazy about it. And we'll agree to disagree or agree to agree. Here we go. The route is on fire. Trevor Root, Dustin Miles, Smile on the Styles for Miles, going to that inside clip. Root out front in the BMW E36 and just slingshots into outside zone 3. Want to see some more angle from Root. You can see now throw some more at it. Miles tucks in. Miles transitions way too early.
Oh no.
Way too early. Grips up on the inside. Now he finds it in that last outside zone.
I knew what he was doing there, but
just didn't time it.
Too soon, yeah. I think he got bathed in that smoke, so let's run it back here and take another look. I like the aggression for Miles from the get-go. He just, that one mistake is going to probably bite him. And then as Root does a good job here, little too deep in that inner clip, does a good job of keeping it within outer zone 2. Could have used a little more aggression in that transition, but Miles really going to be in outer zone 3. Not what I expected. Could have been a little further in the pocket there, a little bit of wavering. And here's that transition timing. Way too soon. He was about 50 feet too soon to perform that sort of maneuver as they get through outer zone 4. And Root just basically was by himself at that point. We can take another look at the chase cam as Root does kind of a gentle initiation. He could have been a little more aggressive, could have been a little wider there, but he did set himself up. He made that correction in outer zone 2. Going into 3, where Miles puts on the pressure here. It's looking good for both parties. And you can see him just bathe in that smoke, and he just kind of lost his place in the world there as he made that mistake in the chase, but he did keep on drifting, so it is a complete run. It's just going to be a big deficit in the Miles camp.
Let's alternate the order here. Dustin Miles will be out front. Trevor Root chase him down, 24 years old, from Connecticut. His 3rd Prospec season. Dustin Miles, Atlanta-based, 8th Formula Drift season. Got the 2J under the hood, 38 years old. Let's see what Dustin Miles doesn't want to get involved with his own name. Talking about Dustin, doesn't want to get involved with the dust.
No, we don't.
Miles will lead, Root will give chase. Sounds like one of those craft beer bars. Miles and Root. Dustin Miles will lead, initiating Trevor Root. Gives him a little bit of room here to transition now into the outside zone 3. You can see Miles comes a little unwound. He does have good placement within that zone. Ooh, that could have been ugly. Yeah. You saw that car buck up. Does not affect him at all, though. Dustin stays pinned to win. And Root. That was a good top 32 battle for Root because he had a good lead run. He knew that Miles had that mistake. He gave enough room and then executed not too aggressively. Did just enough, 7.5.
Yeah, he had a really good discipline here, Jared. As you know, he probably had an advantage. Miles could have used a little more angle going into outer zone 2 and set himself up. He dropped probably a tire there and not deep enough into outer zone 3 as Root is just showing his temperament here through outer zone 3 as he does a good job of anticipating that transition despite being a little further back. He does reel Miles back in where Miles could have been a little deeper in outer zone 4 as they finish out the race, or the run wheel to wheel. And we take another look. Here comes Miles down, almost dropping a tire in that rumble strip. Good placement in inner clip 1, little deep into outer zone 2. You can see Ruth's attack here. He's timing that transition really well. Going in outer zone, sacrificing a little bit of angle as Ruth tries to just bob and weave into that chase pocket as they get around into outer zone 4. You can see Ruth just still sacrificing a little angle to gain that proximity, but Miles could have been just a hair over into that outer zone 4 to really shine the judges on, but he's already at a deficit here, so let's see what the judges have to say.
Waiting for the verdict here. Root and Miles slide him left for Root. And there it is. Trevor Root gets the win. Dustin Miles, just that mistake, unfortunately, transition into outside zone 4. We got some time, so let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel, who's with a contender for Rookie of the Year. That Fitment Industries BMW. Lorette, down to you.
Thank you, Jared. Well, a few minutes ago, I was talking to Jerry Johnson about that Rookie of the Year chase. Colette Davis, you're right there too, and it means a lot to you as well.
It does, and it's me and Jerry all the way. Me and him in the finals would be so awesome, and today, just happy to get through the first battle. It's never how you want to win anything, but we're here to get all the points we can and take it to the top.
Amazing. And what's the focus today?
Focus is literally taking it to the top, just being as consistent as possible. Like, I feel really good here. My car is great. Team's been turning it around super fast. We had some contact in practice, got me back out there, and just gonna keep going.
Yeah. Are you meeting the expectations that you set for yourself earlier this year?
I would say so, yeah. You know, I think going into my first ever season, I really didn't know what to expect. I think this has been one of the most wild seasons of racing I've ever had in over a decade of being involved in motorsport. And I wouldn't change anything that happened, though, and I'm excited to be where I'm at.
Currently sitting 7th in her rookie season, guys.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I've seen Colette develop as a driver, announcing Red Bull Global Rallycross. She's raced next cars. She races a lot of different disciplines. So it's great to see a smile on her face and success in more ways than one. So congratulations to her. Nate Chen, again, leads the pack in our next battle when we come back, potentially, if we don't go to the one more time or whatever. But again, the championship is up for grabs. There it is, Dmitri Brutzki. So this is a must-win for Dmitri Brutzki going against Carson Ruger. You know who's a Carson fan? Nate Chen. If Dmitri loses this battle, Nate Chen will unofficially be your Formula Drift Prospec champion. Dmitri must win here to be a 3-time, again, Prospec champion, but that's just still in contention. Here we go, never settle. That BMW comes into that third outside zone. Carson Ruger, not ideal. He's got some straightening line here. Dmitri Brutzki into that last outside zone. Carson wavering in that chase position, that garagistic BMW. Way on the inside is Carson Ruger. A major advantage by Dmitri Brutzki. All signs are saying, again, unofficially, major advantage for Dmitri. He needs to win here. Otherwise, Nate is your Prospec champion, right?
Yeah, and we were talking to Carson Ruger in RCP before this morning's practice, and Ruger actually makes like sub 600 horsepower at sea level, so he's kind of at a disadvantage there. But let's take another look where Brutzki's out front. I really like Ruger's aggression here off the take here as they get through interclip 1. Brutzki doing a good job of filling outer zone 2. Drops a tire to the rumble strip there, going into outer zone 3. Ruger putting on the pressure here. You can see him grabbing some handbrake, trying to keep the car composed. Does a good job of that, but this is where it kind of fell apart. The car, for reasons known to me, is he just kind of straightens out, loses the composure of the car, where Brutzki just powers through outer zone 4 like Ruger's not even there. So that's going to be a big deficit in the Ruger camp as we take another look through outside zone 2. Ruger does a big dive there, loses some proximity, but does make it up by sacrificing some angle, reeling that BMW of Brutzki in. He does a great job through that outer zone through 3 in the outer zone 4. And there you can see Ruger struggling to keep it in the line. Does complete the run, but that's going to be a huge error in his chase position. We can see Nate Chen looking on. He's probably watching the stream on his laptop, rooting on Ruger.
Yeah, and you know, I misspoke there a little bit there. Just mathematically, there are still people in contention. So Cole Richards is officially out for the championship, but Buchanan, he is still in it. He's back there at 90 points. Talaska, he is still in it. Again, 90 points, 80 points coming into this round. So, but this is a must-win to still be in contention. So yes. I, again, misspoke there. Mathematically, again, Jerry Johnson 75 back. So. All right, so here we go.
There's work to be done.
Yeah, there is a lot of work to be done here. Carson Ruger out front here. Dmitri Brutzki, again, an advantage here. Play this strategically. Don't get too aggressive. But, oh, Carson gets into that dirt. So Carson goes off, wavering there, but Brutzki, he dials it in, and now into that last outside zone. And that, I mean, that's undeniable.
That's why Brutzki's
yes.
past champion. You can see he almost matched the wavering of Ruger.
Right.
I'm like, is that even possible? You could see like when he was grabbing handbrake, just doing a good job of adapting. Even though he didn't need to be that aggressive, I feel, he did a great job of putting on a show. Let's take another look as Ruger's out front getting around that bubble as Brutzki, the temperament there is just kind of waiting for to attack here as Ruger does a good job at inner clip 1, keeps it in play with outer zone 2, and there's when Brutzki turns it up as they get through outer zone 3. Brutzki, you just see the smoke building there. He's like, all right, you waver, I waver. It's tit for tat as we go through outer zone 4. Brutzki, you can see a little more adjustments there, but reels it back in. That car, he's been using that thing for Pro and Prospec this weekend, mind you, so great job in the Brutzki camp as with that huge error from Ruger in the chase position. I think we know which way it's going to go.
Yeah, that's undeniable. You know, all respect to Carson Ruger. Great attitude. He's always got a smile on his face.
It's great.
But, look at that.
Come on, salt in the wound.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's it's just being a kind guy there.
Yeah, okay.
Dmitri Brutzki giving Carson his bumper back. Dmitri, his son Jacob, and there it is. Let's make it official. Dmitri Brutzki gets the victory, advances on, still in contention, and they're on opposite sides, right? So Nate Chen on the left, Buchanan, Talaska on the left as well, talking about the bracket, and Dmitri Brutzki, again, on the right-hand side. Brutzki going against either Louis Lanz or Colin Zielinski in our next battle. We still have, like I said, we kick things off with a second battle. Shelly Hansen and Amanda Sorenson. They went off course. They're fixing their vehicles. And then a second one more time from Kaufman and Stewart. Still no victor after not one, but 2 battles.
You know, we got a couple holes in our cheese that is this bracket, but we'll fill them in here as we get going with some more battles. I think we got...
Thanks, Stuart Little.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. It's Commander Stewart.
I meant that from a cheese perspective. Coincidentally, Josh Stewart is there. The commander, Kaufman. Yeah, jeez.
You could talk to his wife.
Yeah, no, that was not a reference of Stewart. I meant you were like, we got a lot of holes in this cheese. Oh, look at, yeah, good sportsmanship, talking all that smack. Let's keep it going. Chen and Brutzki, you know, they had a. Yeah, that was.
You don't have a tinted one? I never had a tinted one. Really? Yeah. That's so much easier. It's too bright. I don't even like the sunglasses sometimes that I wear. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know. I just like to see what I see where I'm going. Oh, okay. The clearer the view, the better.
I think you're talking about
hood
visors.
Yeah, you know,
of all things.
I'll tell you what. You know, those guys had some fun words in a thing, and for them to kind of, it's not that it's bad blood, but it, you know, the mind games. I'm just saying. Here we go.
To talk about.
Speaking of mind games, these guys not once, not twice, but now 3 battles deep here. Are we going to get a victor? Kaufman and Stewart to advance from 32 to 16. There goes the commander. Drops to the side of a clean run by Kaufman. That Taxi Garage FCRX7. Look at that. Yep. And there we go. Kaufman puts an outside zone. Stewart, you can see applying the pressure there in the latter portion of that outside zone 4. But you can just see how refined they're getting more and more with as the battles go on.
Now you're getting comfortable with your competitor, essentially, here as Stewart definitely proved that, but hand it to Kaufman. Give him a good canvas to paint that chase on as we get into outer zone 3. Stewart continuing to put on, matching the angle, getting that proximity going, and a great transition here as we look at that. Just beautifully puts the Corvette right where it needs to, but he does lose a little bit of ground there as we go into outer zone 4. Kaufman could have been just a scotch deeper, but Stewart really stepping up his chase game against Kaufman versus the last 2 battles that we've seen him. He's won more times. Great position by both cars. No rumble strip drops that I can see as Stewart matches the angle great in that transition going to outer zone 3. And Kaufman a little wavering, could have been a little deep, but that's something we don't want to flirt with in that dirt. Great transition there from Stewart, but then he kind of backs off, and if he could have kept that proximity, that would have been the cherry on top of that chase position. It really would have shined the judges on, but Kaufman doing a great job checking all the boxes, not doing anything too aggressive. Let's give Commander Stewart the clean air against Ryan Kaufman in that Taxi Garage FC.
And this is where I believe the spotter really comes into play. Hearing the dialogue, what went wrong, what went right, how to basically transcribe what the judges are looking for and put that and implement that in the driver's mind. And again, many different strategies when it comes to spotter. Not only just being their cheerleader, but really implementing, again, that strategy, what you need to do, where the judges are focused at, the point of contention, and the point of focus. So here we go. Stewart out front in that Corvette into the second outside zone. Good fluidity. And there is Kaufman in tow. Want to see that overhead camera.
Yep.
And Stewart, and Kaufman dives in on the inside. He needs to work it back.
He sure does.
He needs to work it back. This is very comparable to what we saw from Miles earlier. That timing just a little bit off, going from 3 to 4. You think you want to time it, but if you're on the inside and that's just insult to injury, it just pours some more salt in the wound.
Yeah, it was going to be really hard to top what Stewart did in that transition from 3 to 4, but let's take a look back at outer zone 2. Kaufman, Stewart almost dropping a tire himself. He's like, does a great job here, keeping it in control. I thought he was going to go off, but he kept that Corvette just smooth as silk going through outer zone 3. And Kaufman wavering, he got a little too far on the outside. It wasn't even a point of attack there. I don't think he wanted to be there whatsoever. He just got caught in the dirt and then messed up his whole transition to outer zone 4, where Stewart did a great job of completing his lead run in outer zone 4. And you can see entering outer zone 4 here again, where Kaufman just kind of lost his place on the track and tried to make up some ground, but just couldn't quite close the door on Stewart, as he does a great job checking all his boxes in the lead position. And I think that's where we're going to see the split here from the judges.
And do we have a verdict? Not once and not twice, but 3 battles between these two gladiators. A good hard-fought battle, Kaufman and Stewart. Let's take a look at our BC Racing Go for Gold custom coilover side by side.
Yeah, you can see the aggression from both parties here in the chase. Like I said, they're getting comfortable with their competitors here, as Stewart's out front and the right, Kaufman's out front and left. Very similar up to this point, but you can see the aggression from the Stewart camp in that chase position on the left, as he's just almost closing that gap in there. And you can see Kaufman he gets caught almost in the end of that rumble strip in outer zone 3, and that's where it fell apart in the chase position. That's where we're going to see the difference, I feel, in the judges' decision, where Stewart was non-wavering and showing his confidence in that chase position, where they had very comparable lead positions, besides maybe a rumble strip here and there that I may not have seen, but let's see what they have to say.
And waiting for, and here we go. Josh Stewart gets the win. And again, just it took once, took twice, and took thrice as Josh Stewart, the commander, advances on. Great effort by Kaufman. Love his driving, but unfortunately just not enough, as we throw it down to Lorette once again, who's with Mr. Buchanan.
Thank you, Jared. Yes, of course, with Cody. And Cody, of course, the storyline here is you're in with a shot. All right, so it looks like we're not talking about that. What do you want to talk about then?
I mean, we can talk about whatever you want besides the championship. We're here to do good and to try to win. Championships out the window. Whatever happens, happens. We'll leave it to fate.
It's not out the window yet, but we're not talking about it. But I was told that he has a good luck charm, that whatever, Cody, you have nothing to lose. Just put on the lucky unicorn and best of luck, guys.
Yeah, just a fun-loving guy, and that's a lot of the driver's perspective of, like, don't want to talk championship, but these are real-time scores, because just most recently with Dimitri's victory, 10 points richer. Cole Richards, that's where he will sit, and Cody Buchanan, like you said, 90 points back there. So just for instance, say in 16, Dimitri's out, Chen's out, Buchanan continues on, 10 points. 20 points, 30 points.
Won't take much.
And we've seen that. Who was it? In Juku Racing, Kevin Lawrence, thank you, jumped up past everybody, was sitting, I think, back there in 3rd, maybe even 4th, and jumped up and won the championship. So that does happen. And what this scoring and the point allotment has made it a lot easier for us to deduce of, like, quick math, 10 plus 10. All right, cool.
It's like the
1
metric
plus 1. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Formula Drift, for making that a lot more digestible. All right, here's Mr. Lanz versus Colin Zielinski. Zielinski, part of that Fitment Industries team, and taking a stab here against Lanz. So Lanz will lead. Again, sitting 14th. Zielinski. And look at Lanz. I mean, that's ex-Corvette, an aggressive flick into that first outside zone. And Lanz, look at, holy cow. Zielinski, I mean, he was really tucked in, but he had to back off. And I mean, I want to get that overhead view here because Lance, how that dirt didn't just grab him like the mummy and pull him in like, come here. Like, I don't know how he fought that off. Like, he conquered those demons.
Like, yeah, absolutely, Jared. Look at Lance here, flicking that Corvette. He was aggressive off the start. And Zielinski there, ready to party as we may have dropped the tire. That definitely 1-2, grabbing a lot of angle there. I think that's why his momentum was already slowed down, so the dirt didn't have a chance to grab him. But hats off, tip of the hat to Zielinski, keeping his composure there. I mean, in any other situation there, a less formidable driver might have just completely backed off and thought, hey, his run is a wash, but he stayed right there with them. Congratulations to his maneuvering there. If you look at it again, you can see 1-2 maybe tires off from Lance in the lead position, and definitely 2 there on the rumble strip, and 1, of course, through half of the outer zone 3. And Zielinski just wheel to wheel and just still staying in it. Hats off to him. I really like that, what he did there, and adapting to that, you know, error of Lance in the front end. Outer zone 4, kind of on par for what we've been seeing. So let's give Zielinski that clean air in that S chassis while the Corvette gives chase.
That was wild by Lance. I mean, he was very aggressive and went in, and to your point, that hat tip to Zielinski, how he modified it. I would even say that Zielinski might have even saved Lance from straightening out. He was right there, a little boop with the snoot there to kind of maybe autocorrect. But I think now with Zielinski with that clean air, he's going to be out front, doesn't have to really think about what Lance does in a chase position. Lance needs to apply the pressure and just really minimize those mistakes. But this is where it gets tough because I'm really anticipating Zielinski's car to kick off a lot of smoke. And there he goes. Turns on the smoke machine. Lands really tight on that inside clip. Zielinski now in the outside zone 3. And here goes Lance. You can see him again surging forward. Zielinski way shallow on the outside zone 3. And then Lance dives in. Zielinski outside zone 4. So both of them really need some refining of their runs, but I want to get this overhead view. Lance was a bit sloppy in the chase, and Zielinski didn't get exactly to where he needed to be.
It sounded like the car was either tight or loaded up too much, to be determined, but you can tell he just needed to offset his overall lead. He was a little short there, or too deep in there, short in outer zone 2. You could hear it live, but the car just seemed to struggle to get it out there. It's extremely shallow. I don't know, I'm not sure why he's left foot braking there. If you would have brought him out further, and the same story here where Lance did a good job of adapting to the kind of offset line that Zielinski did, but overall I feel like it could have been a little more aggressive, a little more loose from the Zielinski camp, despite maybe he just thought, hey, it's a Corvette, I gotta bring it. You know, Lance is in his sophomore year, he's a rookie, let's turn it up, but maybe it was just turned up too much. And you can just almost hear in this drone shot that thing is just laboring to get through the course here. Through outer zone 3 and 4. But Lance did a good job of keeping the pressure on despite being an offset line. So now it's up to the judges.
Waiting for the outcome here. Again, Lance and Zielinski. If they advance on, I'll tell you what, either of them, Lance or Zielinski, going against Brutzki. And the way Brutzki's driving, he's possessed. So
yeah, for sure.
Whatever either of them did here, they need to better it, the winner of this.
All right, Lance on the left lead, and Zielinski on the right lead, and you can see the approximation difference in the deficit here. Now, I was talking to Reese earlier. I was like, what do you consider a greater error? Like going too deep a tire off or shallow? He's like, he just thinks of them as errors flat. Like that's an error. What they prefer is a different story, but you can tell that I felt like Lance was just a little less in control of his car, but Zielinski was just on that razor edge of getting the car to complete the drift. It just felt like it was laboring the whole time.
Hush falls over the crowd to find out who the victor is. Lance, Venezuelan American, started circuit racing, now gone sideways. Zielinski gets the victory. The 23-year-old from Chicago advances on, came from the East 10 Drift Pro-Am. As Zielinski advances on, the Fitment Industries S chassis, a couple more battles left, including that of Shelly Hansen and Amanda Sorenson. Throw it down to Lorette and Nickel. Lorette, what's cooking?
Well, I think what's cooking is the asphalt and us standing under this warm sun, but the weather is gorgeous. Dmitri Brutzki coming into Utah said things were mellow, copacetic, and then all of a sudden the butterflies started coming up. But do you feel like you have them under control now?
Yeah, it's after tap 32, it always feels better, especially when you win it with a good battle, because we had a little rough practice this morning. We rewrapped the car yesterday, fixed it up, but today everybody was pushing us and got marks on both sides of the car, kind of back to normal. And the first run was a little bit nervous because you don't know if the track heated up or still the same grip and stuff like that. So I wasn't like 100% pushing, kind of on a safe run, maybe 85, which is my number. So worked out, and then in the chase, I was pushing, and the lead car did a couple mistakes, which we adapted to. Got the win, and the stress is kind of relieved now, and we're going to go chill, get some time with fans, and hopefully get back in the fight later.
Dmitri, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette. Some great insight there from Brutzki. Pretty consistent as far as his demeanor. And let's revisit many battles ago. We had an incident here on track for just joining us. It was Shelly Hansen and Amanda Sorenson kicked things off. Shelly goes in. Debris was on track. Something that just wasn't seen. It seemed like just a bit of a fender trim or something from the previous battle. Hit it. They both go off course. So here we go. Shelly Hansen and Amanda Sorenson. A re-rack and track for these two gals of Formula Drift Prospec Championship. Shelly Hansen will lead, Amanda Sorenson giving chase. Shelly Hansen, again, a sensational crash earlier this year, a cancer survivor, an absolute warrior, going against Amanda Sorenson, our United States Air Force rock star energy drink pilot, high-flying Amanda Sorenson. Into that second outside zone, into the through, and Shelly, some wavering going to that outside zone 3. Amanda does stay consistent. Good angle there, Shelly. Now everything should be up to snuff. They had ample time to fix the car. Amanda Sorenson drops back quite a bit. Now gets in that outside zone. You know, the back, I would say Shelly went off first in that incident where they went off track outside zone 3, but Amanda's was way more violent. She said it fucked her, everything was broken up back, but they had ample time to fix it.
So we got the mulligan going here as Shelly does a good aggressive initiation through outer zone 1. Good position on 2, dropping a little bit in that rumble strip there, Jared, as Amanda puts on the pressure going into outer zone 3. Shelly kind of didn't fire off completely until halfway through outer zone 3, but Amanda's sticking there with him, doing a great job of keeping the pressure on right up until the end of that transition where Shelly was kind of a little shallow overall in outer zone 4, where Amanda was trying to struggle to keep up on her proximity. So here we go again. Shelly doing a great job here in outer zone 2, going into 3. Amanda almost over-rotating as they get into outer zone 3, and you can see that late fire off of Shelly going into outer zone 3, completing the angle. And the transition was just a little lazy in the Amanda camp, where if she probably timed that well, but it just wasn't fast enough and aggressive to stay in that pocket through outer zone 4. So let's give that Air Force BMW some clean air, and Shelly will give chase.
Seemed like Brandon and Amanda had a really good time. They had a really cool, did you see that video shoot they did with like the
cargo?
Yeah, the cargo plane drifting on a, oh, come on. I was like, yo, that looked awesome. So some really cool video and some content. Looking forward to seeing more of that between Brandon and Amanda. United States Air Force sponsored BMWs and drivers. And Amanda will now lead. Shelly Hansen chasing her down. Couple more battles after this. Let's see if we get a victor here. Amanda Sorenson, Shelly Hansen around the bubble and into that first outside zone. Good initiation by both of them. Shelly giving herself a safe distance into outside zone 3, ripping into outside zone 3. Shelly kind of straightening there, but at angle, gains some ground. Even at angle, you can see that car gripping up in outside zone 4. Amanda Sorenson and Shelly Hansen, an all-female battle. Crossing the fit. Look at Shelly. That side grip. Shelly at angle was gaining ground as opposed to even compromising and taking it out. That was absolutely impressive. But Amanda out front, confidently trusting her equipment, trusting her guys and gals to work on the work on the car and get it right.
Yeah, that was a good ball on the top of the end of that run there, Jared, as Amanda does a good job positioning for inner clip 1 and 2, and a little bit of debris there as she gets into outer zone 3. Shelly trying to make up some ground here as Amanda doing a left foot braking, keeping the car stable, but Shelly constantly putting the pressure, staying in that outer zone 4, putting a good transition there from Shelly, then just dials it in while keeping it in the pocket where she needed to. That was a great job by both parties in that outer zone 4, keeping their temperament as we go on and take another look. You can see them doing the flick of the wrist here as they enter through inner clip 1, going through outer zone 2 quick, and then Amanda might have dropped something there, part of the clip. I'm not sure what that was, but these girls don't care as they transition into 3. You can see the aggression here from Shelly just right away, doing a great job, even bathing in that GT radial smoke of Amanda Sorenson as she closes the gap right before the finish line. Great job by both parties, really. That's going to be a tough decision. I can't see or take away from a whole lot there besides maybe Shelly's shallowness in the outer zone 4, but let's see what happens.
And Shelly Hansen, Amanda Sorenson, after a discombobulation of the vehicles, Amanda Sorenson comes out on top. Amanda Sorenson gets the victory in her United States Air Force BMW. The Rockstar Energy Drink driver advances on into the 16 here at Formula Drift, Utah. 2 more battles left. Alex Jaeger, Casey Cole. Then we got Human Rahimi and Adam Heichman. And Amanda Sorenson will get Nate Chen in the round of 16. Again, a contender for the champ. This is how our top 16 is shaping up. You can see 2 final spots on that bottom right-hand side. And again, championship contenders, Nate Chen, Talaska, Buchanan on the left-hand side, Dmitri Brutzki on that right-hand side. So again, points be separating them, but we will see.
Looks like we got Alex Jaeger and Casey Cole warming up their tires in that GT radial burnout box. Max giving them the stare as they pull up to the line.
And here we are taking a look at Alex Jaeger and Casey Cole. Alex Jaeger in that Steal It all new Z and the M-Spec Performance S chassis of Casey Cole. Let's see what Alex Jaeger has got. Casey Cole is going to definitely try to apply the pressure on Alex Jaeger. Now here comes Jaeger into that first outside zone. Casey Cole with actually deeper angle than Jaeger. Don't know if that's going to pay off for him into the outside zone 3. You can see now Alex Jaeger with more angle in the outside zone, placing that car deep. Outside zone 4, that allows Casey Cole to come on in, backing off. So again, here we are.
Okay.
You know, what do you think the mindset is here? You're ready to go. It's like hold. I mean, you're deep in that 32 bracket. A lot of time, a lot of thoughts are going through your head.
A lot of icing. Yeah, it's like you just want to get it over with at that point. You know what I mean? But Jaeger, very similar, simultaneous initiation here. Casey Cole put on the aggression early. Good job in outer zone 2 by both parties, and Casey Cole matching the angle from Jaeger as they go into outer zone 3, showing that temperament, trying to reel in that new Z of Alex Jaeger. Does a good job of timing his transition here, but then kind of falls back with that adjustment there, but does reel him back in that proximity against that Z in the last half of that outer zone 4 through the finish line. Another look from the SkyAirForce.com replay as Jaeger and Cole throw it into outer zone 1. Good job. Hand brakes there a little bit. Good position on air clip 1 as we swing it around into outer zone 3. Cole trying to put on the position. You can see him surging there a little bit while smooth as a cucumber going through that. Alex Jaeger going through outer zone 3, just doing a great job checking all the boxes of that lead position responsibility as Cole tries to give him a little reminder that he is back there. So let's give Casey Cole the clean air, that M-Spec S15, while Alex Jaeger gives chase.
Casey Cole, can he advance on? Jaeger, ups and downs, but he's had a lot of victories here. You know, his lovely wife and him having a son, getting a house, just a lot of advancements in life. Just again, a lot of these drivers, you know, just full-time jobs, come here on the weekends, 4 weekends out of the year, and you know, rising to the occasion and just taking all things into consideration. You know, Casey Cole as well, you know, running a business, throwing it down, and there it is, bang, right on that first outside zone for both of them. Pass it inside clip into outside zone 2, hit it and quit it into outside zone 3. Goes Casey Cole out front. Jaeger, you can see gripping up. Casey throwing some more angle out of outside zone 3. Let's see the transition. Casey right on it, puts it right at the beginning of it. Jaeger, kind of a bit of a shallower line. Cole, a lot more composure on that outside zone 4. You can see Alex just a little bit on the inside. So again, just aggressive by both of them. Let's see.
Yeah, I felt like Casey did a great job. He really came out on his own in that lead position here as he got the clean air and showed what he can do in that S15 M-Spec. So here we go. He's throwing it in. Great job by Alex. Good aggression here in the chase position, keeping the proximity. Good placement in lead driver. Outer zone 2 looking good as they swing it around. Left foot brake from Alex Jaeger as they get into outer zone 3. Jaeger kind of taking a little too aggressive in that pocket as he makes a lot of corrections. Casey very smooth in the entirety of outer zone 3. As we get into outer zone 4, you can see Jaeger sacrificing the angle, left foot braking there to get that proximity. He's not even quite in the zone there, even though he doesn't need to be in the pocket where he should have been. He should have been a little further back, in my opinion, as Casey flirts with disaster there with the rumble strip. It's not a 0, but 3 tires off is, as we look through Justin Smash's lens here, as Jaeger kind of doing a little bobbing as we get into outer zone 4. He's struggling a little bit to keep that proximity with the while matching the angle of Casey Cole as they finish it up. So good job by both parties. It's I don't see anything dramatic that really sets them apart, but they did do a good job. A little to clean up here and there, but that's for the judge to decide to see if they're going to go one more time or what.
Regardless of cleaning it up or not, this is, again, a hard-fought battle between two very talented drivers in a very fast course.
Yeah, we'll take our side-by-side from BC Racing. As you can see, the aggression from Alex in the chase position on the right and the precision of Alex on the left. You can see Casey Cole was a little deeper on outer zone 3 to begin with, and they both had similar angle in outer zone 3, where Casey Cole's transition into that outer zone 4 in the chase position was a lot more aggressive, and he did make up for it after he lost a little bit of ground, where Alex just couldn't quite, make up the real estate that he had going into outer zone 4 versus Casey. So that's kind of the one thing that I seen different was in their chases position in that outer zone 4.
Jaeger cutting his teeth at the infamous E-Town. He won in 2020 the Gambler and the U.S. Drift Shootout as well. This GTR Power Nissan Z. Also Rally America, so a slide him left for Alex Jaeger or right for Casey Cole. Casey Cole going from crew member to driver just a few years ago, running M-Spec Performance from Oklahoma City. And Casey Cole gets the victory and advances on. Alex Jaeger unfortunately knocked out, and that will conclude his 2025 Formula Drift Prospec Championship. Looking forward to seeing what he's got on the horizon for us. Hopefully we see him next season in 2026. One more battle left here in our GT Radial Top 32. Hooman Rahimi and Adam Heichman. Hooman, good attitude. Talked to his spotter. He says he's in a great place. He's feeling calm. He's confident with the car. And Hooman is, and I've heard you say it in podcasts and say it before, like, you don't know which Hooman you're going to get.
That's right.
He could be wild, crazy, or he could be really calculated. Regardless, he's always got a great attitude. And Heichman, very soft-spoken. But we know, obviously, what he's capable of. We saw it yesterday in our seeding brackets.
Yeah, this should be a good one, Jared, to kind of put a bow on our top 32 here. This, I don't have any skin in the game, but these guys are both, like you said, great gentlemen, great to watch, great drivers. So let's see what happens.
Hooman Rahimi, again, Iranian American from Nashville. Again, drifted an MR2 at Turner Field, and here he is in a weapon. This car has absolutely progressed over the years. He is definitely only Hooman, but that's exactly who we want into this third outside zone. On that transition, he corrected. You saw him absolutely escape that inside clip. I think that's really throwing off Heichman. But Heichman on that inner, tighter line. Hooman Rahimi, as calm as his spotter reflected in his emotions. Don't know if, as far as placement. So a little bit sloppy from Hooman out of the gate, and I think that really impeded on Heichman's line and how he navigated the track.
We talk about the stacking of the dominoes, and you can see this mistake here from Hooman. He had a good approach here, but he was really wide on interclip 1. He made that correction, completely absent in outer zone 2, so that really, not only affected the rest of his run, but Heichman had a really weird line to follow. That was pretty unique, and Heichman did a good job of timing that attack there. I really liked it, but then, again, Hooman needed to be further out. If you wanted to make up for his mistakes in his previous lead portion of the track, he needed to really push it more aggressive on that outer zone 4. And you can see just making that correction. He give it to him, though. He was really aware of those rumble strips. He did correct the car to save himself from an incomplete, but he's still going to be at a pretty big deficit here when Heichman gets the clean air and, had a decent chase for what he was given by Hooman in his lead position. So let's flip it around, give that pony some clean air. The Turbo LS 370Z will give the chase of Hooman Rahimi.
What's really cool is, we have UNOH involved with Formula Drift, and that's where Heichman comes. He studied, found drifting while studying at UNOH, and also he runs the number 988 to honor mental health support lines. So it's a cool mental health awareness there from Adam Heichman. Gotta love that. Give him back. Check on your homies. Check on your bros. Check on your mates, as they say down in Australia. Mr. Heichman out front. Houman Rahimi in the chase. There goes Heichman. He places it in that outside zone 1 and a 2. And now into that third goes the Mustang. Houman Rahimi, definitely aggressive. Heichman doesn't get all the way to outside zone 3, and then he just taps it in. Now to outside zone 4. Houman Rahimi taking a tighter line, works it out there towards the ladder.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Saw that coming.
Yeah, that rooster tail coming off the back end of Rahimi's Nissan Z. Don't know if that's going to be enough. I think Heichman did just enough, just at first glance.
That's true, and if he does advance on, he's going to have to clean that up a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think with the mistake that Rahimi had in his lead position, it's going to be more of a deficit. So I like the positioning of Heichman's car, as Rahimi did a great job of his transition here, and Heichman put on the angle just a little bit too much as the car unwound a little bit and put him in this really shallow position until the end of outer zone 3. And Rahimi trying to put on the pressure, I felt like he could have been more aggressive. He needed to get that advantage in the chase position. He's not really forcing any mistakes. In fact, I think he made more mistakes in the chase than he wanted to because of his aggressiveness. But take another look at our airforce.com replays. You can see Rahimi doing a good job of the position. You can see handbrake pull from Heichman and also some left foot braking. Puts him more shallow into that zone until the very end. And a good job of timing that transition. A good mimic there for Rahimi. And Heichman doing a great job filling out his zone 4. And Rahimi just too little too late.
Could see the judges stepping away, and I'm assuming we have a victor. And slide him left for Rahimi or right for Adam Heichman, getting the victory. Adam Heichman getting the win and advancing on, like you said, and needs to tighten it up. He's going against Casey Cole. We saw him just go against Alex Jager, but Matt, we got a break here. Local time is 2 o'clock. We'll be back here on track with our top 16 driver intros and opening ceremonies. That's in 2 hours. So we got a clean, clinical 2 hours, brother. Yeah, let's go grab some food.
Let's get some glizzies.
Are there hot dogs?
Could be.
All right, let's get weird. We got some glizzies for lunch. Yo, all the tube-shaped meats, dude. We got brats. We got glizzies. We got smoked Viennas. We got cocktail wieners. Nate Chen, Amanda Sorenson, our first battle. Brian Wills, Zero Chill Wills versus Cory Talaska is in the hunt. Cody Buchanan as well, going against Nick Jimenez. Jerry Johnson, the Cat Daddy, going against Knapik. Stewart versus Cameron Sorenson, the young buck. Colette Davis going for that Rookie of the Year, fighting Jerry Johnson. Colette Davis is going against Trevor. Dmitri Brutzki, again, going for his third Prospec championship. Brutzki and Zielinski, and then Adam Heichman and Casey Cole. That is definitely a tongue twister, that second last battle. Brutzki and Zielinski.
It's a lot of skis.
Yeah,
we got mountains, but no snow. So we'll do some drifting instead of skiing.
Right. Thank you so much. We'll be back here in just a couple hours from Burt Brothers Motor Park for round 4 of the Link Engine Management Prospec Championship. Who's going to be the champion? You'll find out when we return.